Hello, and welcome to the Wreckage of Myth Drannor. My name is Chris, and I'll be your Dungeon Master tonight, and I use they, them pronouns. We're thrilled to be streaming at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg. Well, how to describe the Wreckage of Myth Drannor? It's a love letter to computer RPGs of my childhood, including the Baldur's Gate series, the Pool of Radiance series, Neverwinter Nights, taking a specific location from Pool of Radiance and then putting a modern spin on it. So the ancient elven city of Myth Drannor has been lost to time many a time, and is so once again. And a group of unlikely heroes in this case will be heading there to try and uncover more secrets. I hope you enjoy the adventure. For those who are new to Dungeons & Dragons, everyone here is playing a fantasy character in a fantasy universe. They all have their own unique character sheets in front of them, which tell them who they are, what they can do, their deepest, darkest secrets, and what dice to roll. They'll mostly be rolling a 20-sided dice, and you should be seeing a little number ticker up here in the corner when they do. 20s are good, 1s are bad, everything in between is on a scale, so feel free to boo and or cheer depending on what's happening in the story. And while they play their characters, I, the Dungeon Master, will play literally everything else. So anyone they encounter, any monsters they have to fight, any weather patterns, story beats, anything else, that's all me. So you'll see me playing a huge number of people alongside them. Now, I'm very excited to introduce you to the cast of The Wreckage of Myth Drannor, so without ado, here they are.
Hi, I'm Nat, I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Ildrathni Elendor, who uses she, they pronouns. Ildrathni is an elf, definitely not a Dhampir at all. No, mostly elf. And also a cleric and a little bit of paladin, and is currently traveling with a very, very ancient elf on a mission to go to the renowned city of Myth Drannor.
Hi, I am Rebecca. I use she, her pronouns. I am playing Ava, who also uses she, her pronouns. Ava is an Azamar, warlock of the undead. She currently has a dead patron, stolen powers, a massive vendetta with her god, and the Wand of Orcus sending demons after her, so that's all fine. Some people say that she's evil, and I've no idea why. She just has a lot going on.
Hi there, I'm Nate. I use he, him pronouns, and I get played by G, who also uses he, him pronouns. And, I started off as a wizard, right? And then I hung about with some druids for a long time. And then that was when I became an artificer, sort of, for a bit. More like an apprentice, but then I didn't really finish my training. Most recently I made a warlock pact. And, I've been in some bands and stuff for a while as well. So I suppose you could say I'm kind of I like getting into a lot of different stuff.
Hi, I'm Niall. I play Anton Rain. Both of us use he, him pronouns. Anton is a divination wizard and a little bit of fighter thrown in there. Once found out that he is a descendant of an ancient Netherese wizard, undead mummy, and is, not a descendant, but a clone, and is currently struggling with that whilst being a little bit obsessed with magic and mythlas.
Hi, I'm Evie. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm playing Ephemera, who also uses she, her pronouns. Ephemera is a reborn druid of spores, and being reborn was killed, sacrificed to orcas at some point in the past, and through a wacky series of events is now traveling with her good pal Ava, totally not a terrifying angel person, with a wand of orcas being chased by demons. Life decisions have been made. Don't know if they're good.
And there are all of our lovely players. Before we dive too deep into the story, a couple more AOB to go through. First, a word from our sponsors.
We are delighted to be sponsored by HeroForge. HeroForge offers fully customizable tabletop minis with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. You can see all of the minis that we designed for this stream in the overlay, and they animate when we enter the combat, so look out for that. HeroForge are fantastic, so do check out the Pro membership where you can get premium access to features ahead of time, and beta access to things, and all sorts of cool stuff that just makes your life a lot easier. And you can check them out at heroforge.com.
We are delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro. They make accessories for D&D, Magic the Gathering, and more. My favourite part of their collection are their figurines of adorable power. Here is their gazer. They also make other things such as deck boxes if you play Magic the Gathering. You can find all of Ultra Pro stuff at ultrapro.com.
Hey friends, check out our new sponsor, Phoenix Dice, for a carefully curated menagerie of click-clack math rocks for your delectation. Check out their entire selection at phoenixdice.com, and just so you know, Phoenix Dice are all about living gloriously in the worlds of tabletop games and sustainably in this one, which means their dice are working to be recycled, their packaging is recycled, the dice are made of sustainable materials. It's all great stuff. You should definitely get involved. You can also join us today in chat with a chance to be in a raffle and win some Phoenix Dice of your own. Just put !dice into chat and you'll be in with a chance to win.
We are proud to be sponsored by Alchemy RPG. Reimagine your gaming experience with Alchemy. They're focused on creating immersive cinematic experiences everywhere you interact with tabletop role-playing games. Playing a game, creating a world, streaming, watching live games, discovering new content. Look at all the cool stuff that they are doing there. You can use environmental motion art, scene-based music, seamless character management to run your games over the internet, with upcoming features including homebrew content, streaming overlays, and spectator mode. So go and check out alchemyrpg.com.
We're delighted to be supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from novels, adventures, and multiple live streams into a single grand adventure. Select your heroes and formation and battle through waves of monsters for free on PC, phone, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. You can pop exclamation code into chat for a free Electrum chest.
We're delighted to be supported by Neverwinter. In Neverwinter, explore and defend one of the most beautiful cities from Dungeons & Dragons' Forgotten Realms campaign setting as it rises from the ashes of destruction. Epic stories, action combat, and classic role-playing await those heroes courageous enough to enter the fantastic world of Neverwinter. Neverwinter is completely free to play, so set yourself up an account today and pop !NW gift into chat for a link to a free gift.
Check out our supporters at D&D Beyond, your guide to digital D&D. Make character sheets online, share them in a campaign, and track all of those tasty little stats in one easy place. You can use the Beyond app to track your characters on the go. You can also use their encounter tracker and archive monsters to run any smooth combat thing. You know what I'm saying. You're a DM. You've done this before. You know D&D Beyond is the place to go. You can also check out our character sheets and ! characters in Twitch chat below.
Check out our wonderful supporters, Elderwood Academy, who make beautiful bespoke gaming-themed gear, including hex chest dice boxes, spellbook deck boxes disguised as bespoke ancient arcane tomes, and scroll and codex dice tower and rolling tray pairings. Make your own with their online designer at elderwoodacademy.com.
This stream will run for 3 hours, and there will be a roughly 5 to 10 minute break somewhere near the middle. We run shows on Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Greenwich Meridian / British Summertime, which is 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. in mainland Europe, and 2 a.m. Tuesday morning in Japan and parts of Australia. On Mondays and Tuesdays, we run TTRPG streams for 3 hours. And on Fridays, we run our talk show, Talk Together, for 1 hour. Our TTRPG streams can be one-shots, 4, 6, 8, or 12 weeks long. You can always find our latest schedule at twitch.tv/rolltogetherrpg/schedule.
We are Roll Together RPG on all socials, so find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even TikTok. Links in chat.
Thank you to our D20 Club on Patreon. You can find a link in chat. Help us make our shows from just £1, $1, or $1 gold piece, and unlock more tiers by joining. Our D20 Club are fab. They've created a fan Discord for us. They've also made a wiki page for Roll Together. You can find that at rolltogether.fandom.com.
Welcome to our podcast listeners. If you also would like to listen to us via podcast, you can search for Roll Together RPG on your favourite podcast provider. If we're not there, let us know and we will add ourselves to that list.
Finally, we play with a diverse group of players who play a diverse set of characters with wide-ranging sexual and gender identities. Our tables are trans and GNC positive, and we encourage and champion trans and GNC players and characters in our games. The DM and players may portray characters that are of a different gender to their own, and while we aim to avoid misgendering, we do acknowledge that it does sometimes happen, and have a company policy in place for correction should the need arise. If you think we've missed anything, please let us know. You can drop us an email at rolltogetherrpg@gmail.com or just pop something into chat. We're always open to hearing about how we can do things better. We use the TTRPG Safety Toolkit as part of play. If you put !safety into chat right now, there'll be a link to it, or you can ask us about it on any of our social medias. We're happy to share it. It is created by Lauren Bryant and Kiana Shaw, and is an absolutely excellent way to play safely at your tables, and we couldn't recommend it more. If you pop !safety into chat as well, you'll also see a link to content warnings. This campaign does sometimes stray into the dark, especially party PvP, party and party conflict. So do check that out and see if there's anything there you'd like to avoid. Anyway, without further ado, here's the intro. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 12, the grand finale of The Wreckage of Myth Drannor. I know, it's the end! This is the end. Yes, we have... The party have had a big old final combat-y sort of thing, but is it the actual final combat? You'll find out soon enough. But now is the chance for us to take these characters on to further adventures or death. Those are the options, one or the other. We'll see how it goes today.
Isn't there option C of just a really nice tea party?
Further adventures.
I'm going to pick further adventures before we run out of cake.
Okay, cool.
Cake or death?
Cake or death. We'll make it work.
No, I'll have a cake. I'll have to further adventures for you now.
Anyway, you're joining us to watch the end, and I am going to try and recap the entire show now. Wish me luck, everyone. Right. These 5 all came together thanks to the machinations of an ancient elf called Nezeril. Nezeril turned out to be a shard of the elven god Libellus Enereth, who is the elven god of death. They quite firmly believed that if they got an opportunity to go and speak to the leader of the elven pantheon, Corellon, they would have an opportunity to explain why elves should properly die, not have their souls reincarnate as they have done for thousands upon thousands of years, because Corellon was a bit pissy about it. Genuinely the reason why Corellon was a bit upset with them. That's the reason. Anyway, various things happened. Do I really want to put the whole campaign into various things happened? Yeah. Various things happened. The party came together. Ava and Ephemera still have the wand of Orcus. There were some machinations with Ava's old patron. There was a lot of inter-party conflict, worries about if people were actually on the same side or not. Myth Drannor itself has been sealed away in a shielded bubble, which we'll get to in a second, that was full of creatures that were trying to get out and murdering each other, including a topaz dragon, which Ava took out personally. Either way, the party made their way to the centre of Myth Drannor, to where this shield is, where a Mythal spell, Elvenheim magic, and a Mythalar, a Netherese magic battery, if you will, were being used together to form this shield, and found the lone Baelnorn, a good lich, a good undead, guarding the remains of... We'll get to that. Guarding the remains of what is left of the Heart of Myth Drannor and the Tree of Souls, ancient elven artifact, a tree that allows direct contact and connection to elven heaven. Arvindor, through Evermeet, but we skipped that bit. So, at this point, the party tried to protect it, and Nezeril tried to go through with their plan, which involved sacrificing some of the party to make sure it would happen, but in the process, Nezeril actually managed to sacrifice themselves. And in doing so, some of the party, made it to Arvindor, spoke to Corellon, who agreed to consider the idea that elven souls might be allowed to stay, which is quite big, quite important. I'm glad that happened. At the same time, Ava got her desperately required conflab with Kelemvor, the god of death, who had huge impact on her life. And even though everyone assumed that all Ava wanted to do was kill this mofo, what ended up being was quite a good conversation about what it is to be a god, responsibilities, and maybe, just maybe, a chance for Reborn to be appreciated and respected by Kelemvor, who currently, as a god, wants them all to fucking die. But will those actually lead forward into the future? We don't know yet. Because while all of this was happening, there was a massive fight going on in the remains of Myth Drannor. Because there was also a massive subplot about the end of the world. A gem containing the mind of a sentient monster designed to destroy all gods and all life, called Pandorum, was being kept in the vault in the center of Myth Drannor, guarded by the shield. That's why it was set up. It was all for this. And Inevitables, which are big robots, which have appeared in various shows that we've worked on, were trying to break through and allow the mind to be freed because of an ancient contract made by it, and they have to fulfill the legal word of a contract. Lawful stupid is the thing. The body of this creature was also around, kept by the aforementioned ancient topaz dragon, which Ava managed to collect and bring back. There was an assumption that the two might form together into some ancient, world-defying, horrible thing, but Ava left the body with Kelemvor, thus removing the threat of that entirely, except the mind still searched around for the strongest host to control, which turned out to be Anton, who had just attuned to the Mythalar and started overusing it for the second time. Once again. But this time, no one slit his throat. He didn't die and come back to life again. He's been encased in a giant gem with the mind of Pandorum that is now controlling him completely. Although inside Anton's mind, in his mind palace, we did see Anton and his ancient Netherese mummy other self, of which he is a clone and therefore still exists partly in his head, Lorraine, trying to work out if they could potentially break free of this or use it to their advantage. At the same time, Ephemera, getting more and more frustrated with Ava's, I'm going to say machinations. I'm going to use the word machinations. I think that's fair. Renounced their friendship and stormed out, and using the wand of Orcus, which Ava left with her, decided to get in touch with Orcus himself, which, oh boy. I mean, I think that's the Cliff Notes. That took a while, didn't it? Is that yeah? Did I miss anything important? Anyone want to throw in like, oh, my character also did this? Like, I'm very happy to, isn't it?
I reforged my heart, so I don't have to eat bread anymore.
Our Dampier managed to use the power of their god to reforge their heart to no longer need to consume blood, which is very important. Nate cast 2 wishes in one turn. That's amazing. Using the simulacrum spell to have another version of yourself, both versions of them which cast wish. Bless you. So,
not one turn. 1 round. 2 turns.
Still, 2 wishes in 1 round is still pretty amazing. So, yeah. Anyway, we stopped
Anton losing it again
for the second time. Actually, no, you didn't stop him last time, Cal.
Actually, no, that's true.
Charmony killed him last time. We were all there. 3 of us were there. Right. Anyway, 4 of us were there.
Nate helped.
Anyway, where we ended up, just so we're all exactly on the same page as we get into the wrap-up for this entire campaign. Anton is in a gem, controlled by Pandorum, trying to work out what to do. This gem was literally designed to contain Pandorum, and a wish was used to reform it around Anton. So, for the time being, that's probably fine. The Mythalar is also still in the vault in the center of Myth Drannor, as is the Tree of Souls, both undamaged by the combat that was around you. Ava is still there. Nate is still there, along with Nate's other version of Nate created by a simulacrum. So Nate and Nate 2, I think we're calling, is that right? Yeah. Ildra is also there. The Baelnon is also there. A contingent of Gif is also there that were helping out fighting the Marut, which the last Inevitable, which disappeared once the mind was freed, having completed its purpose. And I think, apart from that, the Baelnon summoned a very powerful elven, it was an angel of some kind. It was an Archeon, yeah. So a very powerful angel was summoned and is currently just sort of there going, why am I here? But we'll get to that.
Holfair still there?
Holfair is also still there, thank you. One of the Gif, Regulus, was also a friend of Ava's from before. Yes, that is where almost all of you are, except for Ephemera, who walked out of the castle, plopped down in a tree, and took out the wand of Orcus and said, "Please," Evie said.
I'd like to speak to Orcus, please.
The wand in your hand. You hear the voice in your head. What?
Hello?
No, it's the wand.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Yes, don't make me ask again.
The wand, as much as it can, sounds frightened. All right, I guess.
Hello.
Hello, is that Orcus?
Who the fuck else would it be?
That's true. I don't think we ever officially met. Do you know who I am?
Yep.
Yes, I suppose you would. I was sacrificed to you.
Yeah. Also, made you alive again. You're welcome, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Why did it take 10 years? Just out of curiosity, that's not a bone to pick.
Well, I had no reason to bother with someone quite as insignificant as you for quite some time. Then I found out that Goldenfields was right for the taking, so I thought, another soldier in the field. And you got the wand. Did exactly what I thought you'd do. But then, you fucked off, didn't you?
I did. With Ava, who I believe you're not on the best terms with right now.
To be honest, pretty pissed off with the both of you.
Well, I apologize for any offense I've caused. I'm willing to return this wand and hand Ava over. How does that sound?
You think an apology's going to be enough?
No,
That's
I don't.
adorable.
It wouldn't be enough for me. It's certainly not going to be enough for you. But I said the words.
Yeah, noted. I can't enter the material plane unless someone invites me.
And how would one invite you?
With the wand? Just ask.
Okay, that's interesting. And what will you do once you get here?
Well, you and I need to have a chat about what happens to you. Because at the moment, I'm tearing your fucking head off. And if you don't bring me in, someone else will. And when they do, I'm tearing your fucking head off. Your friend's next. And then, frankly, I'll have my wand back. I've got some things to sort out. You have no idea what you and your friend unleashed, so... yeah.
And I suppose you're not going to tell me either.
I mean, I don't think you'd be able to fathom it, honestly.
Try me.
Alright. There's a fuckload of awful shit in the world, and some of it's out of the way because it was getting in my way. And guess what? Without the wand, not as powerful as I used to be, and you know what? They're pissed. So, I mean, he might kill you and all. Might be funny. I don't know.
May I ask who this mysterious other is?
Nah, you're alright. What would you do with it? All it would do would give you information you could go and do something with. I got no interest in that.
You already know I intend to invite you. I'm just, and then you're going to rip my head off, so the information won't go very far.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to invite me. I think we're going to have like 5 minutes chat, and then you're going to go sod this for a game of soldiers and fuck off again. And I'll just have to send more and more demons to try and find you.
What I was going to propose is, do you have any punishments worse than death? Because that seems like a very easy way out.
What are you saying?
Me and Ava are also not on good terms currently.
Right.
I'm looking for a way to make her suffer for everything she's done. I'm willing to turn myself in and give you the one to do that. I just want to know that she will get what's coming to her, and I want to know what you can offer.
You're, just to be clear here, you're offering your life, and you're asking me a favour in return for bringing me in and giving back my wand.
I'm a cheeky little shit, aren't I?
Why the hell do you want to die?
Do you know what the word ephemera means? I'm sorry, that sounded patronising. It was not meant to.
Yeah, I know what ephemera means.
I knew when I came back that it would be fleeting, as all life is. I have nothing else in the world anymore. What's the point in just going to find someone else like Ava? There isn't. We're all gonna die anyway. May as well make it count.
You really don't know anything about me, do you? I'm not alive either. I've died thousands of times, and it's the first trick I learned. Death's just a door. Now, if I kill you, I can bring you back. Do whatever I want with you. Frankly, if I was killing your friend, that's what I'd do. One death ain't enough. Over and over and over and over again. Because I appreciate my wand being used to wreak some havoc, but when I ask for it back, I want it back. Disrespect gets you a lot of death. Now, you're asking for something more subtle. It's not usually what I do. But you know what? She broke you. Didn't she?
Among other people.
I couldn't give less of a fuck about other people. It's you I'm interested in. We can make you again. Make you better. Give you something else to work towards.
Would I remember everything?
Only if you want to.
I don't think I would.
Fine.
But I would ask one thing.
Shoot.
I'd probably want to do some kind of sentimental, material plane thing of returning a certain badge. Because if I willfully come back with no memories, I have no right to hold on to it.
I mean...
Just an indulgence.
Whatever, sure. Give a fuck. Alright then. Nice quick death. New start for you. Something subtle for your friend. Now, I'm gonna do that anyway. I could do it much faster if you brought me in.
So you're gonna do that anyway, you say?
Yeah. Might take a bit longer. After all, I'm not on the material. I've got people who are.
So then, why would I bring you in?
Because
I'm
if you
curious.
don't... Oh, because if you don't, you'll remember everything.
Give me a moment to think about it.
Looks like I've got nothing but time.
Okay. I'm gonna go see how things are unfolding in there. And then if the time comes, you'll get the call. If it doesn't, I suppose I look forward to the next time when I remember this.
Don't think I'm waiting. There's people already on the way. I say people.
You mean demons?
I mean whatever the fuck I want to mean.
I was just trying to verbalize your inference, that was all.
Alright. See you soon, one way or the other.
Yeah, see you soon. I hope you have a lovely, lovely day.
And the connection breaks.
Well, one dope old buddy old pal. That wasn't so bad.
How angry was he? I couldn't hear.
Honestly, he sounded less angry than I thought.
No, he's really cold.
Yeah.
Kind
of admire that, to be honest.
Okay.
It's better than being shouted at. So, we are going to have a look at how things are unfolding in there and make a decision. And then we'll see if we bring Orcus in. Do you have anything to say about whether we do or don't?
I mean, I want to go back to my master, of course.
Mm-hmm. But you're afraid of him?
Yeah. I don't know anyone who isn't.
Would you... I know you say you want to go back. But is that a compulsion of ownership rather than... Would you rather have a little bit more freedom for a little bit more time?
The longer I stay away, the more I get punished. He will punish me because he will get me back at some point. And when he does, just means I'll be punished for longer. So, of course I'm scared, but if the question is pain now or more pain later, I guess I vote for pain now.
Okay, well that is definitely your choice and I'll take it into consideration.
It's very hard to do anything without thinking about what he'll do. He's very consequent.
Maybe I should have spoken to you sooner. You're far less volatile, more reasonable than I thought you were, and sadder.
I mean, we've spoken plenty. I've been whispering in your ear saying, oh, tell me to August. That's my job, you know.
Yes, but we haven't had a conversation.
No, well, I piped up because I thought you might be about to do something stupid. But
It may well be, but we'll see.
yeah,
Maybe I already have.
yeah.
Okay, time to get some thinking done. As I kind of put the wand away, and I'm gonna cast Pass Without Trace on myself and leave my hat outside so it doesn't give me away.
Good thinking. Right. As you are sat and thinking, inside, Anton has been trapped. The Mythalar is still humming away quietly. There's an Archon in the background, but everything otherwise is pretty static. Regulus and Holfair were talking about what to do with Anton before the conversation started, led to Ephemera walking out. What would you all be discussing after Ephemera left? What would you all be doing after Ephemera left?
We'd probably have been turning to Nate to be like, we've not had much of a chance to discuss this properly, and I am somewhat regretting that now, but I saw that look in your eye. This has happened before. Not this specific situation, but when you went, With the Mythalar.
Oh, Anton. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that did happen before. I mean, like, I think anyone that uses it, it'll happen eventually if they keep using it.
Did it happen to you?
Not last time, but I stopped using it after we sorted things out, you know.
Otherwise.
The Baelnorn will be joining your conversation unless you stop them from doing so. Is there anything we can do to bring him back?
I'm not sure. I don't think. Not without bringing the other thing out as well.
Well, if we take him to somewhere in the astral to, be observed, maybe someone will work out how to free him in a couple 100 or 1,000 years or something.
How well do you think that crystal preserves humans?
It has contained the mind for a long time, many millennia, and it is godly. So presumably, either he will waste away inside, or he will be fully of corpus and mind. Who's to say?
Can I roll an Arcana check and see why?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good. Using guidance as well, that is 32.
Damn. He's still conscious inside. You can see that the Anton inside, there's no sort of pounding on the side of it. It's all very still, but you can see the eyes are flickering and moving like there's an intelligence working away. Time is still passing inside. It's not in stasis. He will probably, die after 48 hours if he doesn't drink any water? Is that right?
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Time's moving in there as normal. So.
That is sad. And then the mind will be trapped once more. It appears we have done our work. I am sorry about your friend.
I mean, he's an idiot, but it seems a waste of a brilliant mind.
I just don't know what we do. Holfair joins you as well. He's currently taken over by it, which means he can't do anything. He's not connected to the Mythalar, so he ain't got all that magical ability anymore, so it's just a regular human in a battle with a god-fighting entity. I don't know what we do.
We'll turn to the Baelnorn. Will you sit with me a moment?
Of course. They'll turn to the Archon and bow very respectfully and say, "It appears I called you sooner than you might have been needed. You are welcome to leave." The Archon will sort of look down at the Baelnorn and nod respectfully as well, and then start walking over towards the Mythalar.
Nate 2
Yep.
will very quickly look over at Nate 1 and say something in a sort of bastardized mix of infernal and primordial.
Does anyone speak a bastardized mix of infernal and primordial?
I don't think so.
I've got to check and see if the Archon does.
If I sneak back by this point, I speak infernal, but...
Yeah, I did before I gave up the Wonder Vorkus. Also, I'm not really listening.
Ephemera, you passed without a trace.
Mm-hmm.
Roll me a stealth check with your pass without a trace up, because Nate's passive perception is redonk.
I did. I got 18 on the dice, which makes it a 29.
Cool. Then in which case you can be quietly in the room and listening if you like. I would allow that. I don't think anyone's specifically looking at the door that you left out going, "Who was there?"
Ava is standing looking out the door Ephemera left, but more in a I don't know what to do way than I am keeping spy watch.
Cool, roll a perception check.
Great. At disadvantage because I'm quite distracted by all the feelings.
Can you beat a 28 anyway?
No, with a +4 I absolutely cannot.
It was a 29.
As in 24 is the highest I can get.
You won't see Ephemera. Ephemera, you can't go through the door because Ava's just standing there gazing wistfully out in what was your general direction, but you have no way of seeing her. If she doesn't want to be seen, she can't be seen because that's what 29 means. Right. Can the
Just stood like there. Just like...
It's that hat. That hat was doing so much work. Ava, you speak a little bit of Infernal. Does anyone else speak Infernal or
I only did when attuned to the Wand of Orcus. I am no longer.
Anyone else Primordial Infernal? Anyone? Anyone? Primordial Infernal? Anyone?
Just
Anyone?
The Infernal.
Okay. G, can you give me a bastardized version of half of what Nate 2 said to Nate?
I knew I was about to happen. So I'll just give you like a bunch of words that you would pick up.
Fine.
Which would be Ava, husband. Clone.
Ava, husband, clone.
2 more.
Go on, use the and in.
5 minutes. And please.
Interesting. The Archon.
To which Nate replies, "Oh, for fuck's sake, go on then."
The Archon will look at both of you. The Archon can speak all language. Go on.
Okay then. So he just goes.
None of you heard this. Apart, Ephemera got every other word. The Archon gets all of it because Angel.
So yeah, Nate 2 says, "Right, I'm about to do something probably stupid, but I'll bring back Ava's husband and I'll leave behind that Anton clone. And please just give me 5 minutes for this thing, please." And to which Nate replies, "Okay."
Oh, for fuck's sake, go on then.
At which point,
the Archon is walking towards the Mythalar. Nate 2 is still there. Do you make any movement to interrupt the Archon? Do you let it walk?
Let
on
it
the back of a horse. It will walk over to the Mythalar and it will just stand next to it. And as it looks over at Nate and Nate 2, sorry, go on.
As soon as Nate 2 is finished, as soon as Nate says that, for fuck's sake, yeah, okay then, Nate 2 and the Mythalar would disappear.
What spell did you cast?
I don't know the spells well enough.
It's fine. What are you trying to do?
Just take Nate 2 and Mythalar, I guess, teleport elsewhere.
Does teleport include objet? Do 8 willing creatures. If you target an object,
Shift or negate.
No, you can use teleport, 7th level spell. Roll me an Arcana check for Nate 2, please. I've had to track these separately.
23.
Just checking my numbers.
Cool.
We'll come back to that in a second.
Pretty sure.
I have more things that would happen that Nate 2 is doing in the next 2 turns, basically.
We'll come to that in a second, don't worry. The Archon will watch Nate 2 and the Mythalar go, and will then look at you, Nate, and speak back to you in the infernal primordial mix that you were trying, just to like rub it in a little bit. Their face is ashen. They're clearly like, they look like a shade. They don't look... This is not an angel of like radiant light and gorgeousness. This is like an ash angel. It looks across at you and says in the thing, "At some point, I will have to do as my lord requested.
What's that?
Take it away. I'm not going to be brutal about it. You did us a great service.
In 5 minutes, he won't exist.
Good. I will wait until it doesn't.
Thanks.
While,
Yeah.
we're waiting for Nate to do. I think Ava's waiting to hear the news of the failure, really.
Gotcha.
We'll just take our eyes off the door until Eldrathni. She is coming back. She's coming back. This is healthy and good and part of like growing independence, and she needed to be angry because I've made mistakes and she's cross, and then she's coming back.
She needs space.
Yeah.
For certain.
She needs space. She can have all the space she needs and work out what she feels and what she needs from me, and then she's coming back. And we'll work it out.
Do you have any idea where she might head?
A few, but I'll leave her to it. I don't want to.
Of course. I don't mean to go and chase after her right now, but slightly more long term.
Outside. Mushrooms are good, but if failing that, a tree is to sit under or sit in.
It's been a time.
It's been stressful and horrible and terrifying. I don't blame her at all.
Come sit for a bit.
But what if she needs my help? I need to be ready to go. If she calls.
She knows how to talk telepathically.
Okay.
She'll call you.
Okay. I'm saying okay and not stopping pacing.
Okay. We'll walk over. Offer hand? Do you take it, or are you still just pacing back?
We'll take.
Okay.
And just do little paces.
Okay. Come sit. I'm going to try something. I don't know if it'll work, but your moral support worked earlier. So let's see.
Okay.
By the way, I didn't get a chance to tell you before. I imagine you don't want me saying it very loud in front of everyone else, but I'm proud of you.
Oh.
With Kalenvor.
No one said that in a really long time. Thanks. I'm a bit proud of me too. I think maybe I...
Good. I was hoping that might come across... no, I was worried that might come across patronizing, but
See, if Anton had said it, Kalenvor, rest him, then it would have been obnoxiously awful, but you did sort of stand up to a god with me. You're allowed to say nice things, I think. And also I'm trying to work on the whole not blasting people because I assume they're being horrible, so I'm going to take that as not patronizing and encouraging.
It's going quite well so far. Let's try this thing.
Okay, and when Ephemera comes back...
Yes. Definitely don't blast her.
No, I won't. Of course I won't. But when there is a good moment, do you think you could help her see that I am trying?
I can't do that for you.
No. I just mean... Yeah, no, you're right. What you're going to do, is it going to help with Ava gestures at the wounds?
Oh, on you. Oh, I can do that. Sorry, I didn't realise. Nat did not clock that you were wounded.
I've only lost a third of my hit points. It's fine.
That's nothing. What are you crying about? I don't know how many hit points you've got.
What did you get hit by? I can't even remember.
I don't remember either. Something happened.
There was a big old fight, so...
I think it's the only time I've been hit this entire campaign, so, I'm making a fuss about it.
What do you want? You want a third level cure wounds or what?
What do you want?
I mean, also, it's fine. I imagine we'll meet up with Ephemera. We will get out of here. We'll have sleep. Everything will be fine. I don't want you to waste your magic. We might need it on the way out.
No, it's fine. I mean, that wasn't as good as it could be. That was a 17 as they take your hand. No, it was... I was going to try and do something about the Anton situation. Again, I don't know. If Firecloak can help,
I mean,
but I want to try.
They seem to be pretty good at helping in general. Can I do? If it's holy stuff, do you want me to go into another room? Keep out of the way, or?
No. Come. We'll take your hand and sort of kneel closer to the Tree of Souls. How is the Tree of Souls looking, by the way, given that there was a battle right next to it?
Roll me a nature check.
Oh.
Can I help? If I see Eldrathni looking anxiously at the tree, I will also look anxiously at the tree.
Sure. It could be a religion check as well if you wanted. No, I don't mind.
Oh, yeah, well, we'll go with that, obviously.
Fine, okay. Wow. It's a nature check now, and you can't have your religion. I'm kidding. Don't sass me.
The difference between Eldrathni looking at the tree and going, yes, and...
Tree.
Has branches.
Has branches and leaves as tree.
Was that with advantage?
Yeah, it helped you, yeah.
Okay, great. And was it religion or was it nature?
Religion.
It can be religion if you like, I don't mind.
That's a 23.
All right, there you go. You don't see any, rent wounds in the side of the tree, and there's nothing like that. Looking at it, and you're a cleric, it clearly is not just a tiny little sapling. It's clearly more than that. And the energy it's radiating doesn't appear dimmed or anything like that. If anything, it's glowing slightly brighter now. It's not trying to protect the world from Pandora, which is on its branches.
Right. Okay, cool. The tree is all cool. All right,
it's
then.
Fine. Yeah.
We'll kneel down next to the tree. Sort of glance up at the Belnon. They don't have to join, but I'm trying to. I don't know. Your presence would be welcome, but not necessary.
What are you asking for?
To see if anyone knows how to help Anton.
All right, then I will ask too.
Thank you. I'm gonna try.
As they kneel down next to you,
okay.
I do still think that Nezeril was right. I hope that's all right. I wanted to tell you. I didn't want to give the impression that I had completely changed my mind about what happened.
Which specific bit?
About death. About being born again.
I'm sorry we didn't actually get a chance to have this conversation. Things turned very stressful, and I apologize for my initial reaction. I was in a little bit of shock. I was also very, very hungry at the time, and that tends to cloud judgment in general. I also happen to agree with Nezeril. Just not the way they were going about things. As it turns out, we had a group of people with us, silly enough to volunteer themselves.
They were part of a very wily god. It does all stand to reason somehow.
It must have been a very difficult choice for you setting up the shield here.
The others were talking about bringing in forces. Divine intervention, if you will. But I just thought, keep it safe. Short term, fix the problem. Turns out that led to a longer term issue, but I don't know if I was right or wrong. I just acted, hoping it would all work out for the best.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not a justification but I understand, at the very least.
I can ask for little more.
I'm going to try divine intervention.
Well, now, it's a D100. You have to roll under 14.
I'm only 11 levels of cleric.
Of course, paladin levels. Ooh! Good luck. 1 in 10.
Yeah, I know. Is there a button for it? Or
Yeah,
do I
you click the
just-
dice button and then you click the 2 D10s next to each other for a D100 roll.
Yeah.
Over divine intervention. No, there's a special divine intervention button.
And I don't get it with disadvantage because Ava and the Belnorn are sat there with me.
With disadvantage?
Because I'm trying to roll low.
Oh, I see. No.
No, yeah. No, we'll sort of just have sat there and looked at the tree. I know you're pretty tapped. I just thought I'd check in to see if there was anything you thought you might be able to do about our friend here.
You get that sort of sense of heat, but it is very much like... Doral doesn't show up. There is a very gentle, like trying their best to give you a sense that they're there for you and they support you, but...
That's all right. We'll just sort of put a hand over heart and just sort of nod. No worries. Another time. We'll see what we can do.
What is Nate 2 doing? Where did Nate 2 take the Mythalar? Because teleport can go literally fucking anywhere.
Like the top of a big hill somewhere. Just somewhere isolated that he could make sure that he was away from Myth Drannor.
Gee, Nate has been in 2 campaigns with a huge amount of locations that you've been to. Pick one. On top of a random hill is fine if you want, but come on now. So much history to play into. In the TV show, the writers would be like, just... Okay, you've been to the Sea of Swords, you've been to a bunch of really windswept
You could
rocks
put it in the city. You could reform the city around the Mythalar.
You could use the ruins of Aeoliant. There is literally a place there where you and Anton have a warded space.
The lab.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. If we've got a warded space, then yeah, take it there.
Put it in the lab. I mean, it's next to the lab because the lab's warded, but yeah.
No, but Nate and Anton would be able to get in there.
Oh, you can break through the wards. Lovely. Then in which case you are in your lab in Aeoliant. It looks exactly the same as you left it 3 days ago. It wasn't long. But yes, you are in your lab in Aeoliant, miles away from all of this with a Mythalar. And gee, I'm sorry. Nate 2 must now use the Mythalar on every turn.
Fully intended, or expected that time.
Yeah, 23 wasn't enough for a 7th level on top of everything you've done. It's a stacking roll. Every time you try and cast higher and higher level spells, it builds up the DC higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. In that case, the next thing he would do would be bring back Ava's husband in Myth Drannor.
Okay, you can true resurrect someone here.
Okay.
You can't just say, I'm just going to true resurrect someone over there. There we go.
I'll do that, and then I'll
teleport away.
Instantly, next turn, teleport them away.
Fine. You know his full name, and you know he has to be willing and all of that, yeah? It's a 9th level spell. How does Nate cast True Resurrection using the Mythalar? Also, I've got a roll for the state of the universe in a second.
I think it's kind of like opening a little sort of portal and then like shouting the name through and inviting him to come back.
Sure.
What was the name again?
Jeremiah Lionsoul.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah Lionsoul. Can you hear me? You there? Hello?
Number 421. Number 421.
I've never done this before, but if you'd like to come back to life, you can.
A figure will step out of the portal. He looks at you, confused. You have a bizarre moment of recognition because it's the face under Ava's face when Ava does the new version of Form of Dread. Just standing in a very simple, clothes, just standing in front of you. Hi?
Hi there. Just bear with me a second, right?
Okay.
Right, next bit is I have to send you to Ava, right?
Oh.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. See you later. Actually, you'll see me sooner than I see you.
What? That's probably what he says as you teleport him away. Cool. Another round. You then can you roll me a con save? It's not for you.
It's for the universe.
12.
Okay. You, Nate, too, would note around you, around the lab, that you've seen this before. Mm-hmm. There's lightning flashing, and in the lightning flashes, there are almost tears forming inside them, and you see vast empty spaces. You catch brief glimpses of mountains of bones. You are seriously damaging reality, and you haven't even sent him back yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we're doing this because no one let us stop you. Okay, right. And then you send him back?
Yep.
I will allow you to adapt teleportation, so it's still a 7th level spell, to not take you, but to take someone else instead. That's fine by me. That happens. We'll get to that in a second. How do you teleport him?
I think it just looks like a Star Trek teleporter.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a second. You just get what you'd get is a glimpse of Jeremiah appearing and all of you turning and seeing this figure and then going, hi? And then back to Nate too. We'll get to that scene in a second. I'm not fobbing you off. Roll me a con save. I really hope it's over a certain number. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it ain't.
Don't think it is now.
5.
Okay. Okay.
Probably destroyed our lab, haven't I? Among other things.
Nate 2 feels the world collapse in on itself over him. He has a brief moment of utter joy at having completely become one with magic, and magic is one because the Mythalar pushes you in that direction, and then ceases to exist. So can't see what's going on. Right, so we'll get back to the slow forming hole in reality that Nate has created at another time. On the plus side, the Mythalar is gone. Good.
That's not a plus.
It is a plus. They're bad. How many times?
I had theories. I've just not had the chance to experiment with one yet. Every time I've had my hands on one, I've had to use it.
Words fail me. Nate, you don't have a connection to Nate, do you? Have no idea what's going on, but a man in quite shabby sort of clothes just appears in the middle of nowhere, and then you have nothing. This man will just appear where the Mythalar was, look around all of you and hi, see
Ava,
and go, oh.
I just run and fling myself at his neck.
Oh. Hi. Hi.
I let go for quite a while.
Hey. Sorry. Hi. Over Ava's shoulder. Hello. I'm Jeremiah. Looks at Nate really weirdly. Like.
We'll just look at Nate. Did you do that?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was the plan.
Thank you.
Good plan.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. We'll go over. We'll not leave Ava's side, but we'll go and shake Nate's hand because that's what you do, and we'll then not want to leave Ava and have a kind of awkward. Am I going to shake someone's hand, or am I comforting my partner? I don't know which one's best
I'll
to do.
just come to attached around his neck.
Grand. In which case, he will slowly walk over, and Nate will shake your hand. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, it was a joint effort, really, getting here.
Where are we?
We're on our way home.
Okay.
We're in Eldrathny. Sorry, this is Eldrathny. This is Nate.
Hello.
Over there, that's Holfer and Regulus, and then there's lots of other people as well.
Hello. Ava, Jeremiah's alive. Not reborn version, genuinely alive. Okay. Looks at, like, he's taking in the room. The room is fucking weird. So he's taking in the room, floating dude in a gem over there. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on.
He's also stood outside in, like, different clothes.
What?
But Anton's then also stood outside with different clothes.
Yeah, like, it's weird. It is a weird situation, but you said going home, so here we are.
I'm sorry.
What for?
You died.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
I'm sorry.
Why? You didn't kill me?
No, but you died.
I'm sure there were reasons.
Not good ones.
No. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm here now.
I did things because you died after you died.
Okay.
That were not good.
Okay. You're gonna have to be more specific for me to make any kind of judgment call on that, although, honestly, I was dead. I don't think I have the right to make any judgments on anything that happened while I was dead, surely.
I brought you back as a reborn, and then watched as they destroyed you. And then, well, as part of that, made a pact with someone who turns out to be a dead hag countess. And let her pull my strings a little. Accidentally did some good along the way, made friends with a girl who needed me, stopped Orcus taking over Golden Fields, but also did a bit of murdering and lying and power grabbing, and then went to see Kellenvor, not to ask him to bring you back, because I did not even think that was a possibility, just to sort of shout at him a lot. And you don't need to be with me. This is your life. Nate brought you back. Go have it. You choose. You aren't stuck with me. You don't have to have some sense of like obligation or pity or guilt. You go, and I'll just be really happy knowing that you're alive.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah, I'm really sorry I did it again, didn't I?
No, that's fine. It's fine. Are you currently working with awful people? Takes a look around the room.
I got rid of the hag countess. I had to use the Wand of Orcus to do it, and that was not a great decision either, but I've got rid of that as well. I've given it away to someone who wants it and needs it. I gave Kellenvor the god eater that I was carrying. I'm trying.
Some of us are definitely still undead and evil, though.
Eldrathni is undead and not evil. They are great.
Sorry, I meant no offense.
None taken.
It takes a while to unlearn.
You did all of that to bring me back.
No, I didn't, because I am a stupid woman. I didn't think of bringing you back. I did it all because you were no longer here. I got angry.
I'm not angry, I'm scared.
That's worse. I'm gonna go over there. It's all fine. Everything's okay.
Okay.
That makes sense. Sorry.
Don't be. No, roll me an insight check.
$26.
He doesn't really recognize you anymore. Not because he's forgotten who you were, but the difference between who you were and who you now are is a gulf. And he has no idea if he can traverse it. He doesn't... It's like you've appeared through a hole in the world with a bionic eye and said, "I've been saving the world for you, baby," and he's gone, "Who are you?" You know, like there's an element of that where it's... He doesn't really know what to make of this you right now.
I'm gonna go. You stay with these people. They will protect you. They are...
Don't.
If I stay, I am gonna beg you to love me, and that is not fair. So I'm gonna go.
Ava, no, don't.
And I didn't want to scare you, and
It's just a lot to take in. Give me some time. You're still Ava, just an Ava who made deals with devils and wielded demonic artifacts and killed a lot of people, and that's a lot to take in. That's all I'm saying.
It's not good when you say it like that. I mean, it's just not good.
But that's what happened, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no need to... Please don't run away. Please don't run away. Give me a bit of time to take this all in, and take it all in. This is a lot in one go.
I can't, because then you will do what you always do and find it in your heart to forgive me, and that will compromise who you are, and you deserve to be you with someone who is as good as you, and that's not me. It never was, and it's not anymore, so I need to go.
But why did you bring me back?
Because the world is better with you in it.
You did all this to bring me back and break my heart?
No, I did all this to Dr. Kellenvor to make sure he'd never do it to someone else. He was wrong, and he's apologized, and I just had to make sure that no one else would hurt the way I hurt.
But
and I didn't.
Now you've done that. If you go now, you're doing that to me. Do you understand that? If you now say, "I brought you back to a world that you barely recognize. I brought you back because I love you," and now I must go. That is cruel.
Do you want me to kill you?
I mean, no.
It can be painless. I can...
No. I'd really rather not die given the choice. Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer. Weird.
Sorry.
Can we just take a minute? Is that all right? Can we just...
There's a lot of people.
You know what? We should have left about 3 minutes ago.
It might have helped.
Hang on. Rebecca, are you all right? That's really fucking difficult.
I am so fine.
Good. Okay, just making sure. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what? Jeremiah, lovely to meet you. Ava, give him a chance to get to know you, who you are now.
But if he gets
not yesterday,
okay.
Not 5 weeks ago, who you are now.
I don't know who that is.
Well, maybe you can find out together. Okay? We're all going to go in a different room. Feel free to sit next to the Tree of Souls.
All of the hippo soldiers with you. There's so many of them and they're staring.
We can.
There's quite a few looking at this kind of like a, oh no.
All right. It's not a show. Roll out.
Please tell me one of the other one goes, awkward. Okay, people are going to start filtering. It's a big old room. Like maybe you two should know.
No, everybody else out.
No. Nate.
It's a big room. You could move far away, other side of the room, and you'd be like 50 feet away. Floating Anton is pretty stationary unless someone does something.
Like push him along.
Like a shopping trolley.
I don't know. I mean, I can't until tomorrow. I don't know if anyone else can create food for... I think people need a snack. It's been a day. We're going to be over here.
Oh, I can sort that out.
Okay, good. Over here. Get Nate.
Nate, do you shopping trolley, Anton?
Yeah.
Okay. Anton. It's been, 10 minutes?
Aye? Lifetime.
In your mind, I'm going to say it's been something to the tune of about 100 years.
Cool.
You and Lorraine have slowly, methodically, as only you can, tried to understand and pick apart Pandorum from that starting point of an error where it's done everything it's supposed to do, it's worked, but the program has failed in its mission, so it must reset, and it just repeats that cycle. Pandorum has no ability to cogitate outside of its basic cycle. It has done every single thing it can possibly do to break out right now. So it's a creation. It is not a living sentient being. It follows logic code effectively. So it is now running through that cycle over and over and over again. And because of that, you and Lorraine can potentially have a way in if you want it.
So its main directive is kill all gods, right?
Yeah.
What we want to try and do eventually is see if we can remove letters. See if we can get rid of the 2 L's and the S and just have kill a god. That would have been our first goal.
Okay. Roll me an Arcana check with advantage.
28.
It's taken you lifetimes, effectively, even though barely 10 minutes have passed outside, but you don't know that. Your sense of time is gone.
Once we knew that we could change it to kill a god.
I mean, it took years, effectively.
Yeah, well, we've got years to spend, haven't we?
Yep.
We're going to try to change the kill into a help by removing 3 letters and changing, and then adding new ones.
Cool. Roll another Arcana check. With advantage, Lorraine helps you with all of this.
That's only a 24.
You can change letters, but you can't. You can remove letters, but you can't change them.
Cool. Right.
Do you want some time with that to think about what you want to do? Because effectively, all time and no time is passing for you simultaneously right now. So
Could we use the ones that we've taken to replace them rather than create new ones?
Roll me another Arcana check with advantage.
Okay.
It's complicated.
That's a natural 20.
Yeah, of course you can.
Great. Then we'd like to remove the I became the L and create out of the L's and the S a H and an E and a P. So it's helper god.
No, you can't change the letters. You can just take the ones you already have.
Oh, right. I might have to be left with it then.
That's all right. I was happy to make this anything you wanted, and you said word problem, so here we go.
Well, I don't know. It makes sense, doesn't it? It's main directive. That's
sure.
We can change that, then we can change a lot of things.
I'll leave you with that and see what you want to do. Because you rolled that natural 20, I will say now that you have those letters, you can place them, rearrange them however you want. I've given you an anagram. I'm Sean, who knew it? I've given you an anagram.
You
I fucking hate anagrams.
The letters from error as well? A couple of 1s and 0s.
No, it's the directive. It's just a single line of code, if you will. Logic code. Right, so Niall's doing an anagram. Right. In the meantime, Ephemera, you've seen all of this. Are you doing anything?
Well, now that I see that Ava and Jeremiah have been left alone, I'm kind of waiting for a moment when Jeremiah says, "It's okay, we can work through this," to just step in.
Mm.
Brutal. Okay.
Mm. I'm sorry. Evie, I'm sorry. I'm also not, but...
So I'm assuming that Ildra and Nate and the others are having a bite to eat and leaving Ava and Jeremiah to it.
Not eating myself, but yes.
Of course. Although, you do feel a bit peckish.
Oh, do I?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I might have a lean over Nate's shoulder and sort of raise an eyebrow.
All right there.
Oh, no, not actually, I don't need, I don't think we'd have this conversation. I don't need blood anymore, turns out.
Oh.
Can I just... long story. I feel like I've told it a whole bunch of times. I had a mental breakdown.
And now I don't need blood. That's how it works.
My name is Ildrafni, died, came back to life, reforged my heart, had a mental breakout, bon appetit.
Did not mean to...
Oh, was that last night when me and Ephemera were having those mushrooms?
Yes, somewhat.
Yeah, I thought you looked different when you came back, but I was kind of busy, you know. That sounds good. So, do you want some of this?
I think I do.
And I don't know, he's making some sort of
something delicious
stew.
What food? So you created a delicious stew with Create Food and Water.
Oh yeah, I forgot I could do that.
Delicious stew.
Delicious stew, notoriously good for people who haven't eaten in about 10 years. Yeah, great.
Oh, 2.5.
Okay, still.
Well, you can
Ildra,
drink the liquid part of it to begin with.
I'm just going to say, Ildra, there are aspects of eating again that you're going to hate.
Oh no.
Oh, right.
There's too many things at stake to have this conversation. Move
on. At the same time, Jeremiah has, let's say there's some stone stone benches around the edge of the bits we were just in. Why not? And Jeremiah sort of sat down on one and is just looking at you, Ava.
I will be working so hard to not take his hand, because that is manipulative.
What do you want to do now? Not like right now, but how do you see our life going from here? Just help me understand what you're seeing.
Are you asking for the fairy tale or the more probable reality?
Both, I think.
I mean, you do need to understand, an hour ago, I was fighting an evil that wanted to destroy the world, and just before that I was talking to our god. Not much of this was thought out.
Sure.
This wizard, who's actually been quite horrible the whole time, suddenly turned around and went, actually, I sympathise, do you want your husband back? And then he's in there, but this other wizardy-ish person did it instead. You met him, I presume, twice. I just jumped at the idea of having you back. I didn't really sit and premeditate. So Kalimvor maybe accepts that he has more to learn with the undead, specifically the ones that aren't going around just wantonly hurting people, and has said he will think about his approach but can't control what the church does, and that sometimes they are crueler than he is, but he cannot control. Ildra and I were thinking maybe we could go and start setting that right a little more speedily, not by doing murdering, but by educating, sometimes firmly if they don't listen, but protecting the people who need protection. Specifically undead who are trying to not be wantonly murdery. And so I suppose if you want to go away and live your life and never see me again, that's what I'll be doing. Or if you just wanted time, that's where I'll be, and you can contact me if you want to see me. If you wanted to come, I think probably your story might help. And if you wanted me to do something entirely different, then yes, probably. As long as it's not letting Ildra down, then whatever you want, I'm here for it.
So, you want me to be an example of someone who died and came back to life, and that's a good thing?
I mean, that's about 1% of what I just said, but sure.
No. I know there are other things. I'm just trying to put the piece. You've become. I can't cast spells. I can't swing a sword. I'm a lay priest.
That's probably good. I got a bit too comfortable being powerful and a bit too quick to reach for it rather than listening. It is mine, the power. It was hers, and then I sort of took it back, and it is mine now.
I'm sorry, there's lots of hers and his and people I don't know.
Oh, the hag countess that sort of popped into my head over your dead body and went, you could change this, and started everything going wrong.
Hang on. You were so upset when I died that was Kalimvor okay with that? Because you've now spoken to him, which is wow. Okay.
Kalimvor didn't say a word. He was just not there.
But you've spoken to him now?
Yeah.
Well, if I was undead, I can see the point that you're making about not all undead, and I agree with the concept of that. That's fine, but if that's a recent change, then at the time it was justified, surely.
I murdered you.
Well, I was undead. Was I compost? I don't remember it. Was I me?
You were mainly asleep or scared. You were pretty hurt. It took some... You weren't there for very long. They found I wasn't very good at the whole hiding you thing. They found you very quickly. You were you enough to beg them to stop.
Oh, that must have been awful.
I'm glad you don't remember.
I don't think there's a life for me adventuring on the road, but if I go back to Raven's Bluff or Raven Rock, or whichever, I can't remember which universe we're in, I can...
Raven's Bluff.
Thank you. I can then talk to the other priests, tell them about my experiences, less as a trying to explain to people I've never spoken to before the intricacies of life in the afterlife, and more speaking to the clergy and having a conversation with them about this change, which seems good. I agree with you. It seems like a good thing to do. Then I can go and talk to them, and then I presume someone else has our house, but I can find another one and give you a home base to return to, and we can start to work back up to where we were, because I'd like to get to know the new you, but I'm still trying to Why don't you come back to Raven's Bluff when the time is right, and I'll make you some dinner, and we can have a chat, and then I will politely escort you to a guest room, just so we're... Is that all right? I think there's I'd like to start I'd like to meet the new Ava.
I don't think you would, but let's try. Can I come back? I would like to escort you back to Raven's Bluff, partly because I was planning on starting there for the reasons you've just said, and also I am scared of you walking in on your own. People might panic and do something.
I don't actually know where we are, and I don't know how.
Myth Drannor.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a long way to get home. That's
a
couple of days, longer, about a week.
I mean, I've been traveling for about a few years, and I never really stopped. We can go faster with magic. I have a powerful friend.
Cool. This is a genuine reaction there. Okay, cool. You get the slight sense of thinking about walking that far was a bit like, oh. Okay, well, great. That's... Okay.
At this point, Ephemera will step out of the shadows and just say, "Oh, wasn't that sweet?"
Oh, you came back. I was worried. I am sorry for shouting. It's been a day. Are you all right?
Are you going to introduce me?
Yes, of course. Sorry. Jeremiah, this is Ephemera.
Hello.
We met 3 months ago, and she has been the best thing that happened to me since you died.
Jeremiah has stood and will be walking towards Ephemera to raise a hand to shake your hand. And
as he gets closer, I just kind of bring out the staff to keep him at a distance.
It's okay. He's nice. He's safe. He's real. It's not. He's all right, fam.
Mm-hmm. Ava.
Uh-huh.
Do you actually know why I'm upset?
I know that you could have found a better person. Not you could, but a better person could have found you. And while I've tried, I've failed quite a lot. And I also know it's just been a really horrible time. Myth Drannor's horrible. We got separated. Things got hard. I know the Wonder Vorkus makes us both feel a bit odd.
Jeremiah is just looking back and forth with a kind of, I know nothing about what's going on.
Ephemera will just kind of look at Jeremiah and take the staff away and just, like, I'd be careful with that one. But Ava, you're half right of why I'm upset, but if I tell you, are you going to patronize me again?
I'll try not to.
When we were in the other room with Nezeril, did you ever stop to think why I in particular was so upset with you being led to be sacrificed? Or how I would feel when you willingly walked to your death and left me alone, despite the fact that you have isolated me and you were all I had in the world? Or did you think about why I was so upset when you walk back completely unscathed, ready for your happily ever after with Jeremiah here, with not a thought about me, who you essentially raised and would have died for you? I don't think you ever cared about me. I don't think you're even capable of love anymore. I was just a way for you to stick it to Kalimvor. You have sown destruction wherever you've gone for as long as I've known you. Do you really think I'm going to let that continue?
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I don't know you.
No, she didn't really mention me, did she?
No, but she mentioned a lot of things, and I've currently got a list of about 4 people that you could be. No, I wanted to say, this Ava is not the Ava I knew, but she's clearly still capable of love.
Take it from someone who does know this Ava. She's using you to make herself feel better for all the evil she's done. And now, she's going to pay the price. And I take the wand out. Orcus, I invite you.
In front of my holy tree?
My holy tree!
Good thing we're going to break there. Oh boy. Oh dear. Hey, see you in 510, everybody.
Rock and roll.
We are delighted to be sponsored by HeroForge. HeroForge offers fully customizable tabletop minis with dozens of fantasy species and thousands of parts to choose from. You can see all of the minis that we designed for this stream in the overlay, and they animate when we enter the combat, so look out for that. Hero Forge are fantastic, so do check out the Pro membership where you can get premium access to features ahead of time, and beta access to things, and all sorts of cool stuff that just makes your life a lot easier. And you can check them out at heroforge.com.
We are delighted to be sponsored by Ultra Pro. They make accessories for D&D, Magic the Gathering, and more. My favourite part of the collection are their figurines of adorable power. Here is their gazer. They also make other things such as deck boxes if you play Magic the Gathering. You can find all of Ultra Pro stuff at ultrapro.com.
Hey friends, check out our new sponsor, Phoenix Dice, for a carefully curated menagerie of click-clack math rocks for your delectation. Check out their entire selection at phoenixdice.com, and just so you know, Phoenix Dice are all about living gloriously in the worlds of tabletop games and sustainably in this one, which means their dice are working to be recycled, their packaging is recycled, the dice are made of sustainable materials. It's all great stuff. You should definitely get involved. You can also join us today in chat with a chance to be in a raffle and win some Phoenix Dice of your own. Just put !dice into chat and you'll be in with a chance to win.
We are proud to be sponsored by Alchemy RPG. Reimagine your gaming experience with Alchemy. They're focused on creating immersive, cinematic experiences everywhere you interact with tabletop role-playing games. You could be playing a game, creating a world, streaming, watching live games, discovering new content. Look at all the cool stuff that they are doing there. You can use environmental motion art, scene-based music, seamless character management to run your games over the internet, with upcoming features including homebrew content, streaming overlays, and spectator mode. So go and check out alchemyrpg.com.
We're delighted to be supported by Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms, a Dungeons & Dragons strategy video game that brings together D&D characters from novels, adventures, and multiple live streams into a single grand adventure. Select your heroes and formation and battle through waves of monsters for free on PC, phone, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. You can pop exclamation code into chat for a free Electrum test.
We're delighted to be supported by Neverwinter. In Neverwinter, explore and defend one of the most beautiful cities from Dungeons & Dragons' Forgotten Realms campaign setting as it rises from the ashes of destruction. Epic stories, action combat, and classic role-playing await those heroes courageous enough to enter the fantastic world of Neverwinter. Neverwinter is completely free to play, so set yourself up an account today and pop !NW gift into chat for a link to a free gift.
Check out our supporters at D&D Beyond, your guide to digital D&D. Make character sheets online, share them in a campaign, and track all of those tasty little stats in one easy place. You can use the Beyond app to track your characters on the go. You can also use their encounter tracker and archive monsters to run any smooth combat thing. You know what I'm saying. You're a DM. You've done this before. You know D&D Beyond is the place to go. You can also check out our character sheets with an ! characters in Twitch chat below.
Check out our wonderful supporters Elderwood Academy, who make beautiful bespoke gaming-themed gear, including Hex Chest dice boxes, Spellbook deck boxes disguised as bespoke ancient arcane tomes, and Scroll and Codex dice tower and rolling tray pairings. Make your own with their online designer at elderwoodacademy.com. And welcome back. Tense? Us? No, that's you. No. Yeah, we're all good.
Nate's making stew.
Yeah. Hey.
Delicious.
It is going down. Hey, Niall.
Yeah.
How's Anton doing with that anagram that you set yourself?
Good. We have a new prime directive.
Oh, hot. Let's hear it.
Aid.
Okay.
And once the directive's taken, I'll say to the mind, hello, I need some help.
How may I assist you?
I need you to change your prime directive to aid Anton Rain.
You are Anton Rain.
Perfect. And then I give Lorraine a little side eye, yeah. I'm excellent. Can you run as many simulations as possible to get us out of this crystal?
Processing.
Include data banks from my memory so that you can source any further variables from anything that I might know.
Processing.
Niall, what's on your spell list right now? What have you got prepped?
I think I have Dimension Door prepped, you know. I definitely have Fast Step prepped, I'm pretty sure.
Neither would get through this. This is divinely ordained to be a thing that blocks magic.
Oh. What are you asking me for then, in terms of spells?
I'm asking you what's on your spell list, what you prepped for today. Start at the highest level and roll down.
All right. Okay. From the highest level, Magic Missile with my mine. Wither and Bloom, Tasha's Mind Whip, Rhythmic Psychic Lance, Mind Spike, Mental Prison, Magic Missile, Fireball, Dispel Magic, Disintegrate, Counterspell, Chromatic Orb, Catapult, Steel Wind Strike, Scrying, Telepathic Bond, Legend Lore, Fast Step, Dispel Magic, Counterspell, Contact Other Plane, Divination. Stop me when you're happy. Dimension Door, Water Breathing, Feign Death.
I'm good.
You need a... Nah? Okay, cool.
We could use your ability to contact a creature. In the past, we were able to form a small break in the gem, and in doing so, contact creatures that might assist us. We would need an outside break of the crystal structure.
Can we reach any nearby creatures mentally?
Only if there is even the smallest of gaps. Maybe you could communicate with your friends outside. Just by waving or something similar.
Oh, can I open my eyes inside the gem?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. I open my eyes up and I'm like, oh shit. I start banging on the gem. I'm like, guys.
Could have done this the whole time, been like, hello.
I've just got my body back, in fairness.
This is true.
But now I've got a supercomputer living in my brain, so that's
it's probably fun. Good, right.
Never have to think again.
I will say that happens as a column of necromantic energy envelops Ava, Ephemera, and Jeremiah.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, no.
Wrong time. I'll come back.
Now...
Feign Death.
Yes.
Now, I'm going to make this very easy, folks. We're not entering initiative. Orcus can cast Time Stop. A column of necromantic energy will envelop the three of them. You will all go, what the fuck? And then something will happen. We'll get back to that because in the meantime, other stuff is happening. Okay? Cool.
Tea party.
That for the podcast listeners, that was not one of Chris's dogs. That was Rebecca.
That is true.
Right. As Ephemera pulls out the wand and says, Orcus, when you're ready, I think it was something like that. What was it? Orcus?
It was Orcus, I invite you.
I invite you, thank you. Orcus, I invite you. You both experience just black in front of your eyes. Instant darkness.
Can I be holding onto Jeremiah's hand?
No, he walked over to Ephemera, so no.
Okay.
Would you stumble towards him in the darkness?
I'd try.
You stumble forward in the darkness, there's nothing there.
Uh-huh.
Ephemera, you hear the briefest...
As promised.
And then you cease to exist.
Aww.
No, the badge!
I will get to that, don't worry.
Oh.
Was that not promised?
Yeah. Ava.
Hi.
The darkness fades. You don't know what that was. And you're still standing in the same place with Jeremiah, who is looking confused. Ephemera's gone. Everyone else is gone. You're just in the room alone.
Are you okay?
I think so, yeah. What was that?
I think that was awkward. I'm sorry, what she said wasn't all true, but enough of it must have been.
That's really not important right now. Are we... What's happening? Is something happening?
I have no idea, but I'll protect you, okay? Stick with me, we'll be all right.
Okay. What do we do now?
Eldrathni was over there. If we go over, we'll feel and see if they are all still there but invisible, or...
Mm-hmm. You walk over with Jeremiah, and there's no one there. The whole place has just been abandoned.
Let's wait. There's a bench. Time is good. We have a lot to catch up on, and if nothing happens after a while, we'll find our way out.
What do you think? Okay, I mean...
I don't know. Orcus, he is capable of very many things. We could have been... I don't know how long we've gone. Maybe there was a fight and everyone else has left.
Right, okay. Don't you have something you can do that would...
Can I make a check? Some kind of what on earth is going on check.
Sure. What would you like to use?
I have commune. To start with, can I just make a... I know insight is weird because it's a situation rather than a person. Can I try and insight what is happening?
No, but you can perceive.
I'll perceive then, that'll do.
Insight is for trying to read someone, not something.
I mean, I guess the argument is what I think Orcus and Ephemera might have done.
Sure.
But I can take perception if you'd rather.
You can't insight someone who's not there.
Great. It is a 19 perception.
Everything looks exactly like you left it. It's just abandoned and... Yeah.
Okay.
I think with a 19, you can hear like a strange whistling sound. Beyond that, you don't know. Like wind passing through something.
I'm going to concentrate for 10 minutes and see if Kellenvor will listen. He said he would this time.
Sure.
Pray with me?
Okay, I can do that, all right. He will kneel down and start praying with you. Sorry, go on.
No, yeah, I'd do that for 10 minutes.
You reach into the part of you that casts magic and knows spells, knows how to cast, and you can't cast commune.
That's interesting. Don't jump, I'm just testing. Can I fire and I'll just blast the other end of the room?
Well, you try to and nothing happens.
Right. I don't have any magic.
What?
Or any power. Okay, they're my spells. What about my abilities? Let's try Mental Prison 6th level. It's a Mystic Arcanum rather than a spell.
You cast it on a person, don't you?
Yeah, but I control what they see, so if it hurts Jeremiah, if it lands on Jeremiah, oh no, there's damage. Ignore that. I don't do that. Thank you for the reminder. Let's check items. I have braces that are magical. Are they magical?
You're still wearing them.
But I guess there's no point to them if they don't. I don't know what's happening. We should probably go. If I can't protect you, we should get out while we can.
Okay.
Do I have my wings?
You could try and see.
Yeah, because they're part of who I am, how I was born.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try.
Nothing happens.
Right. We should go now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not cross. You're wonderful. I'm just scared.
It's okay.
And
I am too. It's fine.
I can't protect you like this. I brought you back, and I can't keep you safe.
Then it's okay. We'll make it work. Don't worry.
Okay. Can we head out the way we came in?
Sure. As you walk up the stairs and out the door, outside the door looks different.
How different?
Well, it's not indoors.
Where is it?
You see sort of bits of a cracked landscape.
I don't know where we are, but it's not where we were.
Okay. Where?
If I look, is there any identifying, anything that will tell me where we are, or anything that looks like somewhere to go, anywhere that looks...
Do you step outside?
Safe? No, I think I want to look in the doorway first.
Okay.
Probably will then step outside.
Roll a perception check. Why not?
12.
The sky roils with purple and green, and the light is very dim, almost like there's no sun. The ground appears to crack and break away, about 10 feet outside the door, and you appear to be relatively high up.
I have no idea where we are. I'm just gonna go walk and see if I can get a better... We feel high up. I want to see if there's a view, so we can get our bearings and work out what to do. Do you want to come or do you want to stay?
I'm gonna stick with you if that's okay.
Okay, don't let go.
Okay.
I'll head on out. I am going first through the door.
Sure. You don't recognize that it's almost like this room, part of this building, you're not sure, is cracked and broken on top of a promontory of rock, and below you is very hard to see, like swamp, slowly moving water. It's like a chunk of where you were has just been upended and placed somewhere else.
Okay. This feels like an Orcus thing. Although it doesn't feel bad enough to be an Orcus thing because we're together and we're alive.
What do we do now?
We're gonna walk.
There's nowhere to walk over. It's a sheer drop.
Can you fly?
No,
No, you always could. Do you still have them?
No.
Okay, so either we try some climbing and we see where we go, or we stay. And we're safe, and we're together, and we wanted time to get to know each other. This is it. It could be worse. It could be a lot worse.
You're okay with this?
No, this is terrifying and awful, but there have been other terrifying and awful things.
Well, I'm really glad that you have experience of that.
Oh, thank you, darling. That makes me feel loved that you're glad I've experienced terrible and awful things. Sorry. Sorry.
What do you expect me to do? What do you expect us to do?
I can't see any other option than to either climb or to wait. Neither option is great, but they're the only options we have, so we might as well make the best of them. And if this is an Orcus thing, at some point he will get bored of us actually having quite a nice time, and we'll find out what happens next. Or it's not, and we'll work out what's going on. But standing here panicking isn't going to help. You could absolutely have a panic. If you want to go have a scream and a panic, you are so welcome to. This is horrible. But after that, we only have two choices. Or we can call and see if anyone answers. Which is riskier, but may resolve in a quicker answer.
Should have left me dead, Ava.
I can kill you if you'd like.
He will silently turn around and walk back inside.
I'll give him 10 minutes. And then head back. You wanted to get to know the new Ava. What do you want to know?
I think it's best if we don't talk for a bit.
Okay. I'll be outside. Come get me when you're ready.
Do you go outside? Leave him there.
There's no outside.
Well, you can step outside onto the little parapet thing, that's fine.
Okay.
You're right. It's not my usual style.
There is a gigantic figure stood next to you on the parapet. Orcus is about 20 foot tall, has a ram's skull as a head, decaying, grotesque, bloated body with like some horrible amalgam of beast and human, large leathery wings, smells appalling. And it's just stood next to you on the parapet.
But someone requested something cruel and unusual. So here we are.
Was Ephemera always going to turn out this way? Or if she had been woken up by someone else, would she have had a chance?
I don't fucking know.
Fair. Also, hi, it's lovely to meet you. Once upon a time I'd have said a big fan. Now, not quite so sure.
Yeah, whatever. He's never gonna forgive you.
Is that what you think?
No, I don't think you're getting what I'm saying. He's never gonna forgive you.
You don't understand. Either that is my Jeremiah, and he's already forgiven me, and once he's calmed down, he will carry on forgiving me forever, because that's who he is. Or you've done something to make sure that will never happen, in which case he's not my Jeremiah and I don't care.
Yeah, see, the thing is, you'll never know.
I do, though. I understand this was meant to be some grand, cruel, subtle master plan, but I know him. He forgives me, and also if he doesn't, I deserve that. He can't think anything worse of me than I do of myself. This is okay. He is here. He is safe. This is all right.
Right. It's no skin off my nose, but hope you enjoy this. It's Ephemera's gift. I'd have just fucking killed you.
I am confused. Is seriously some peace and quiet with the love of my life forever worse than death?
You still don't know what this is. Fine. I'm gonna pop in occasionally, mostly to see if you want to beg. I like it when they beg.
I thought you'd be more interested in the work I had planned.
Yeah, you're not doing anything ever again.
What's to stop us both killing ourselves?
Nothing. Go for your life.
We'll wake up back here, won't we?
Yeah.
Do you not care
about all the reborn, or the undead, or the material plane?
No.
I thought that was your thing.
You know, I don't need your help.
Well, given you and Ephemera seem to be best of friends, next time you see her, tell her I understand. And then I forgive her.
Yeah, Ephemera's gone.
You've made her someone else, haven't you? That was part of the deal.
Well, she's dead.
She was always dead.
Yeah, well now she ain't around in any way, shape or form, so I can't give her little messages, and I can't give you a one-up at the end, because it's impossible, because she's gone.
Okay. I'm still waiting for the moment where I'm meant to feel terribly upset and angry and betrayed, and this is okay. But sure, I can be all despairing if that'll make you feel good.
I don't give a fuck how you feel. I was asked for cruel and unusual. This is what I did.
Then you're a bit pathetic, to be honest. This is quite unimaginative and weak, to be honest. I think you failed. But if this is the best you can do, then well done, you tried.
He reaches out and crushes your windpipe.
Ooh.
You gurgle briefly, but he can do plenty of damage if he wants to, especially in a memory palace of his own making.
You've gotten quite a long way with your words, haven't you? I can appreciate that, but I've got no use for it.
And he throws you off the side. You hurtle down towards the rocks below. You feel the impact, you feel the pain. And then you and Jeremiah both blink. You're exactly the same place you were. Ephemera just said, Orcus, I invite you. And that will continue. You have no memory of it. He will always blame you, never forgive you. It's compulsion. That is where Ava is from now on. Until you beg. Right. A column of necromantic energy just filled that space. And as the three of you, because Anton can now move, turn around and look, there are now three figures standing where Ephemera, Ava, and Jeremiah were standing. They look like undead versions of them, who just turn around, growl at you, and will run in to attack. Can the three of you please roll me initiative?
I feel like I'm pretty safe.
Rebecca, you okay? Do you want to take a moment?
No, I'm okay. I mean, I think that was the most horrible thing I've ever had to D&D ever. But we're okay. You keep
I'm
going.
sorry.
And I'll
Was it too much?
No, not at all. It was the right amount of awful. Keep going. I'll just be silently broken in the background. It's all good.
17.
You got it.
5.
Some things never change.
7.
7. Brill. Okay. Anton, inside the gem, you see what I'm going to currently class as Zombie Ava, Zombie Ephemera, and Zombie Jeremiah turn towards everyone and just sort of like they're clearly undead and clearly not okay. You're inside the gem. You can take no action that affects the outside world in any way, apart from banging on it and saying, "Guys," that's an option.
Yeah, I've got my laser pistol though, don't I?
Yes, you do.
I'll just start disintegrating the inside of the gem. I'll just start breaking my way out.
The two of you see Anton in his gem just shooting wildly at the inside. He still has the glowing purpley eyes.
Oh no. That can't be good.
Yeah, no, I don't think that is good.
I give you guys as you're like looking as he's shooting into the gem, he just looks at you guys and goes.
Throws a quick thumbs up. Sure, why not? Sure. Nate, it's your turn.
Would I have to use my turn to insight his?
I will give you an insight check for free. You know him very well. You know him so well.
I mean, that's pretty good. That's a 27.
He appears to be more like regular Anton, but that could be a ruse. And I have to do that even with a 27 because Pandorum is fucking insidious.
That's true.
Okay.
The laser pistol doesn't be doing anything to the inside of this gem. It's not a wall of force.
Oh, it's not doing. Okay.
Oh, what? So it's still not doing any damage to the gem?
No.
I've got like magic weapons that I could be using against this.
Nothing will affect this gem from the inside.
Oh.
Okay.
I'll stop firing the pistol then. Just look at it.
Can you give me a sort of percentage of from insight of 27 of
sure.
Percentage? I think it's bad.
Oh, it's bad. 40%.
4% chance of
40.
14.
40. 40.
40. Right. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure as well. Nate would have doubts as to whether or not these are past saving undead versions of the rest of his party. So
I'll allow a free Arcana check as well. Why not?
Okay, thank you.
Well, Arcana, not Insight.
Yeah, they're undead. You can't incite undead. Mindless undead, I apologize.
That would be a 15.
Once a creature's undead, it can't be revived. Like, true resurrection can revive someone from, like, beyond death, but otherwise, once they're undead, like, revivify, all the classics, don't do anything. Once a creature has been made undead, it is just dead. You would also know that there are necromantic abilities that can do stuff like this, just a hideous amount of damage. You probably also all got us. Did you get a glimpse of Ephemera appearing and saying, "Orcus, I summon thee"? I'm going to go with maybe. So
I mean, we were still. You said we were still in the same room. I was ready to kick everyone out, but you were like, "You can find a corner of this room."
Yeah, in which case you would have seen Ephemera appear and flick the wand of Orcus as well. So you could. It's fair. Also, you're not shooting your party. It's not really them, but you don't know that.
Yeah, well, exactly. I know that. Nate doesn't. Okay, cool. In that case, I think whoever's leading the charge...
It'll be Ephemera. Ephemera's closer.
Right. Nate will cast Moonbeam.
Mm-hmm.
Which a beam of radiant moonlight shines down on undead, not Ephemera.
Who's rolling? That is a 17 on the con save.
Oh, yeah, that passes.
Still takes some damage though, right? What happens?
Half as much damage.
Cool. It happens on their turn, technically. So the Moonbeam, how do you cast Moonbeam? What's the visual? You've done that before, I'm just checking.
It's a druid thing, so...
Killing the druid with druid spells. How convenient.
But he uses the same wand as an arcane focus for stuff, so that's kind of mounted in his arm bracer thing. Sure. So it's I think there's a little, he like conjures like a little moon floating above his hand and like throws it up in the air and it.
Cute. Does your Moonbeam have any special effects on undead? I don't know. It's lycanthropes. I know it has a weird effect on them. Okay, so it's just damage. Okay.
Shape changer throws at disadvantage.
No,
that's it.
Cool. Right. That is that. Ildra. Actually, sorry, Nate, you want bonus actions. I assumed that you would just... That's an
So,
action.
help me out! Help me out!
How do I know it's you?
Ryan helped me get out, but it's alright. I made sure that they didn't get anything from it. I got them in the end.
Doesn't really fill me with confidence, I'll be honest.
Exactly, and only I would do that. I will say you do know.
I don't think he's convinced yet, so he's not quite going to do.
I would say with your insight, you notice his stutter's gone.
That's not a good thing. I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on to Eldrathni.
Nate, do you think should we keep him in there or what?
I mean, I'm not sure we should let him out yet.
Guys, it's me. Just let me out. I'm sure you'll be fine, but I'd prefer not to be trapped in here. If that's okay, and I can help.
Look, sure, but if you are a world-ending entity disguising as Anton, this really isn't the time. But they're all by the tree. Not the tree.
No, the zombies are not by the tree.
Oh, they're not?
No, they were over there, they were the other side of the room. You all went by the tree. You were doing a potluck by the tree.
I thought we were the other way around. Okay, sure, whatever. Are they between me and the door?
Yeah.
Great. I'm gonna channel Divinity Turn Undead.
Brilliant. Wisdom saves?
Please.
All three of them seem to pass.
You didn't ask me what the saving throw was.
I don't need to.
Oh, no.
They all just keep coming. They weren't all that high.
Okay. Interesting.
You turn undead and you note that you get the feeling that it hasn't affected them because you just know that they're not affected, but they're still coming forward. Stumbling forward awkwardly. Groans, moans.
Okay. All right, then. We'll try this the other way. And I will... Do they look like they're all just stumbling forward like zombie? Or does Ephemera look like she's still holding the Wand of Orcus?
No, Ephemera's not holding the Wand of Orcus or her Staff of Power.
Okay. And Ava doesn't look like she's like, a Eldritch Blast.
No.
Okay.
Zombified.
Okay. I mean, that's good, actually. That would be more terrifying. I am going to... Spirit Shroud.
You are enveloped in spirits.
Yeah, and I'm going to run towards them.
Ephemera's the one at the front, but the moonbeam's washed over. You could probably reach either Jeremiah or Ava if you wanted to.
I want all of them to be within my 10 feet radius.
Yeah, you can do that. Why not?
Cool. Doesn't do anything this turn.
Does it do it on their turn?
When they start their turn within 10 feet of me, their speed is reduced.
Here we go. Right. Moonbeam, roll me the damage.
I didn't even check what spell slots I've got. So I've cast it at...
Sure.
5th level.
Sure.
So that, where's it gone? $32 points damage.
The zombie ephemera screams as the what?
But half of that, because
16. Yeah, the zombie ephemera screams and falls to her knees, clawing at the face, which is disintegrating in front of you. She looks very badly hurt by this.
Just give us a sign. Any sign.
All of them are in the radius of your spirit shroud now, yes?
Yes.
Cool. Well, Ephemera starts her turn in there.
Then she's slowed by 10 feet. They only take damage when I do damage.
Grand. Then Zombie Ephemera has fallen to her knees, so is not, charging in to help or anything like that, but is just sort of, the other two will lurch forward towards you. Zombie Ava is going to strike out at you, just with a hand, just with a claw across your face.
I mean, if it's got the same strength score as regular Ava, then we're fine.
Does a 17 hit you?
No.
It is quite a hefty hit and does sort of claw across part of your arm, but you do manage to push back, and then Jeremiah will also claw. 10. No, they're both clawing at you, but nothing's happening. Right. You're within 10 feet of them. You're sort of quite close to that. Can you please roll me a wisdom saving throw as all this happens?
Okay. That is a 24.
You can feel a necromantic aura around all of them that's sapping, trying to sap at your strength, your willpower, but you tough it out.
Okay.
Anton. Sulk.
No. I have an idea, but I'm not sure, because you said it's divine magic that's trapped me in here, right?
Yes, Queen.
So, do I feel like if I try to use high magic, I might be able to get out?
I mean, yeah, if you want.
Could I ask the computer? Just to get a... can I ask Pandorum? Pandorum, what's our chances of getting out if we use Elven High Magic?
From your experience of Elven High Magic, the process may be fatal, but could potentially break you out.
What's a Misty Step?
It will depend on how your Elven High Magic functions. I believe there is a random element to the process.
Let's say I believe.
There is a random element to the process.
Alright, well... It's just a thing until it's tested, and then we'll go for it. I'll attempt to cast again.
Using Elven High Magic?
Yeah.
Arcana, check.
Cool. 29.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Do you use Elven High Magic to Misty Step out from inside this thing?
Great.
You take 2 levels of exhaustion.
Yes.
But you can both see this happening as he does it, Nate and Ildrathni. You see him humming, and you see the Elven High Magic, you're like, fuck. And will split reality and reappear outside of the gem.
Oof. I have an action to use.
Do we need to kill you too? We're rather busy at the moment.
Elven High Magic takes an action. Come on now.
What? It's a bonus action spell.
Yeah, no.
Anton will just rock back and he'll be like, "It's okay. I didn't need you to help."
Well, all right.
You deal with that. I need a second.
Exhaustion again,
okay. You just sit down and don't do anything, right? Just sit still for 5 minutes.
Give me 6 seconds. I'll be back with you in 6 seconds.
Nate.
I will move the Moonbeam as my bonus action. No, use an action to move it. So, who out of the Jeremiah and Ava zombies, who looks like they're like the next biggest threat, I guess?
I don't want to insult Ava, but Jeremiah's stronger than Ava.
All right.
I blame the patriarchy.
You You put a 5 in your strength. That has nothing to do with the patriarchy. Oh my. Okay. I mean, it's all right to win patriarchy anyway.
Sorry, are the Baelnorn and the Gif and Halfa just sat there, just like chilling? Are they having a cigarette break? What are they doing?
They don't know what's going on. They don't know what's going on. They are watching you fight your own friends. There's probably shouts of, hello, what's happening? Bit of that.
Okay.
So yeah, I'll move the Moonbeam onto the Jeremiah zombie.
Grand. You do. That's your action. Bonus action? That's not casting a spell, so now you can use bonus action to cast a spell if you want to. Actually, Rebecca, you're completely correct. This whole system is very, very male-created, so yeah, blame the patriarchy. The patriarchy decided that a 5 in strength was bad.
Yeah, there's just... Oh, yeah, no, my tentacle. My tentacle again. And...
Oh yeah, my tentacle.
Oh yes, my tentacle.
And yeah, I'll attack the Jeremiah zombie as well.
Okay.
Actually, I can summon it as a thing. I can summon it as a bonus action, but I'm not sure if I summon it and attack.
Let's just say that you do. Okay.
I do. I get to attack as
Please do.
Hitting it.
For the tentacle.
So, yeah, it's just a spell attack. Nat 20 for
nice.
A 30.
For what?
A 30.
Well, yeah, it's a zombie.
Yeah. And so I get to do 1d8. So, but it's a crit. So
2d8. Yeah.
Not bad. 13.
Does it add on a modifier?
No, I don't think so.
The tentacle, you stick it into the ground and it appears out of the ground and just bats Jeremiah back, who is currently just clawing at Ildrathni and is pushed back by about 5 feet, just for flavour. It's not actually any sort of in-game thing. And it's just still trying to get forward, the moonbeam washing over him as well.
It's cold damage and the speed is reduced by 10 feet.
Cool, so its current speed is 0. The zombies are slow. Cool, right. Ildrathni, the Jeremiah one is casting the moonbeam and flapping around awkwardly. The ephemera one is still screaming on the floor, and the Ava one is still trying to eat your face.
Ah, just like in life.
Some things never change.
Right, I'm going to give you one more chance to prove to me that you are just cruel illusions or...
Oh, just hit it with your hammer!
Oh, fuck's sake! And she will.
Grand.
That was half me, half Nate.
Can I get all... I said before, they're all within 10 feet. Are they actually all within 5 feet, Chris?
Sure.
Could they be? Okay.
I'd love them to be, yeah.
Because we've tweaked my hammer.
It's a dirty old thing now.
So I can now do a sweeping attack and hit all 3 of them in one go.
Yes, you can.
So I'm good to
and clean the floors.
That was a 16 and 19 and a 20 on the dice.
Well.
So, okay. I feel like it's poetic justice for Ava to get the nat 20.
Now that is cruel.
She's at least hurt. She's right there in my face. Okay.
Great, yeah.
Okay. So, each of them get a D8 blood. No, it's all radiant now. So a D8 radiant plus 9, plus a blessed strike. So it's another D8 plus my spirit shroud, which is another D8. So that's 3 D8 radiant plus 9, and I'm going to smite. And can I smite on each hit or just one?
You can smite on any hit you want to. You can smite on all of them. Yeah, it's fine. Each is a hit, technically.
I've got 2 5th level and 1 4th level spell slot left.
And you're going to burn them all on absolutely annihilating your friends.
So close to the end now.
If you want to, please do. And then describe how you annihilate your friends.
Oh, I suppose I could save a spell slot for giving Anton Greater Restoration. I don't know.
The Baelnorn's right there going, what is this? What's happening? I would be involved in initiative, but I think it's more fun if I'm not.
Well, fine. Okay, so 2 of them, this is going to be so many maths. I didn't think of this.
Why are you getting at me about it? Don't forget, every time you smite, you add
so ready. Call out numbers. I will add them up.
Don't forget to add an extra D8 on your smites because
they're undead. Okay, so that's 4d8 basic plus 9, and then I add the smites. Oh, and also I get to do a radiant burst of 3d6 damage as well. It's doubled Ava. I don't even know where to start. Okay.
Start with the basic damage attack roll. That's always a good place to start. Okay.
So each one gets 1. What? Okay. Now listen here, D8. There are 7 other numbers on you. So that was 3 1s and a 5.
It's for each of them.
Yes.
So 8
damage each so far.
Yeah.
It'll take 8. Fine. You could roll the damage dice for each attack if you wanted to. Although we do need to, get.
I know time. Okay. So the 4th level would be 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that correct?
Yes.
4th level spell slot is 5. 5th level spell slot is 6.
Yes.
Okay. So let's roll.
I really appreciate you not saving the Greater Restoration. I think that's poetic.
Okay.
I'm not sure we want him better yet.
No, I'm not sure you do either.
Cheers.
So, Zombie Ephemera takes 24 radiant damage.
Okay.
And then I will just add another D8 onto that. Okay, that was an 8. So that's 32. Zombie Jeremiah takes 32.
Sweet.
Radiant damage.
Cool.
And then Zombie Ava, all of it is doubled. Is that correct?
All the dice rolls are doubled.
All the number of dice? No. What?
Nope. All of the numbers on the dice are doubled, but the modifier is not.
Yes. So, Zombie Ava takes 8 from before, plus another 32. No. Yes. Oh my god.
It was 5 on the damage roll for the dice total. It was 2, 3.
No, it was 8 because it was 3 1s and a 5.
Okay, so that's 16.
Yeah.
And then your modifier is?
Plus 9.
25 plus 32?
Yes.
25 plus 32 is...
32 doubled, so 64.
Oh, wow. So that is 80 plus?
Yeah?
All 3 of them are dead. Please describe it. Well, they're already dead. All 3 of them are destroyed. Please describe it.
I think it's Nate has been, just get on with it. Oh, okay, fine. Did I do it?
Oh, shit, yeah, you did it.
That was a good job.
That was fucking awesome.
I've not even done the 3d6 radiant burst.
Your 2 friends and that person you just met, seem nice, are... The pieces of them are on the floor. They're still recognizably like the corpses of your friends. That has not changed.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you killed them.
I really hope I'm not going to regret this. Sorry.
The Baelnorn and copiously, the Giffer all sort of, what happened? What's going on?
I don't know, but Ava's not going to blame me for this, is she?
I don't know if she can anymore.
Alright.
She's dead.
They were definitely unconscious undead, right? As in, not like myself and Ephemeral were before.
Yeah, they were, I've got a feeling this might have had something to do with Orcus.
Right. Well, she did say I invite Orcus, so that might be the big clue.
Are we okay with him being out, by the way?
No.
I'm not sure yet.
Nice to meet you, other me. What's your name? Is it also Anton?
No, it's Holfair.
Nice to meet you, Holfair. I'm Anton.
Okay.
How are Anton's eyes looking now?
Still glowing purple. They appear to be glowing purple forever.
So,
is this, just pointing the hammer at Anton, is this going to be a problem?
The hammer's great. No, I think it'll be very useful.
Not this.
Your eyes. What? Like what? Why are your eyes?
What's going on with my eyes? Is it
purple? That's usually bad.
I'm going to hold up my shield so Anton can kind of... It's not a proper reflection, but you'll be able to see glowing.
For fuck's sake. Holfair will prestidigitate a mirror.
Okay. Right.
Can we close down this weird effect that's happening on my eyes? Pandora?
Statement. You wish to close down the effects of me.
The purple glow in my eyes.
I do not think that is something I can control.
Surely this is purely aesthetical because of what you're doing with my brain, right?
Clarify.
Are you not causing the purple glowing in my eyes?
Presumably.
Excellent. Can you check your programming to see if there's any aesthetic options that we can change?
Are you speaking
this is a little too epic. Yeah. Like he's talking to Siri, but nobody else can hear Siri.
Oh, if you're talking to Siri...
I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
11.
You can't turn that off, and it doesn't understand that there is a visual effect there, that that is part of its literal being.
Okay, so I'm currently using the mind as a supercomputer. That's how I got out. I just did some reprogramming. I was actually in there in my mind for about over 200 years. So forgive me.
I hate it when that happens.
Hey, wait, that's happened to you before?
I mean, it wasn't so much of a magical thing, but...
So, you're telling us that you now control a god-killing mind entity that is part of you?
Yes. But it's only like a computer, really. It's only what it's good for anymore. I could probably attune it to the body now if I wanted to, but I don't really. I probably prefer it as a little calculator in my mind, actually. It's a lot faster than I can do things, and that's saying things, because I can do things fast. I mean, what it took me to do in 200 years, it did in 2 seconds, really, so...
Halfair will turn to Regulus, and they'll both... So, Regulus just ever so casually raises the gun a little bit, just so it's ready in case it's needed.
But, Halfair, right?
Aye.
Do you know anything about us? Anything that...
I didn't know there was an us until... Points at Ava's corpse. Are we just forgetting that happened?
I'll be honest. That's not the craziest thing I've seen in the last 3 days.
Yes, he does have a point with that.
You just killed... Something just killed him, and then we had to...
Does anyone know anything more about you? Nate, you said Orcus. Does anyone know anything more about him, how he works, what this could have been, where they might be?
There are a couple of collective shrugs around the room. Regulus will go, well, they're right here and they're very dead.
Yes, thank you. Very observant. Come on, you've been stuck in here for however many years with a whole bunch of demons. Did none of you manage to get pally with any of them?
No.
I do think that maybe we should, I don't know, clean this up.
Well, yes, not in front of my holy tree, thank you, but...
No, I mean, I don't know. Jeremiah. I know Ava did some crazy things, and Ephemera didn't deserve to go out like this. But, I don't know. We should say goodbye at least. I've got my own problems now, and taking revenge on Orcus is not the top of the list.
I'm going to try and send a sending
to
Ava.
Sure.
Can you hear me? Does this work?
Nothing. Like you don't even make a connection, which you know is one of the things that happens when someone is dead. Many other things as well. But there's a dead body on the floor.
I do have one main question, actually, though. Where's the Mythalar?
Well, yeah, about that. Now, Chris.
Yes.
I know you said that, and there is no, psychic connection with Simulacrum.
No.
But it is, I end it by dispelling it. So would it be fair to say that when Nate 2 ceased existing, that Nate 1 was aware that that happened and that he no longer had to consciously dispel the spell?
Interesting. Yeah.
And logically, I feel like he's intelligent enough to know what that means.
Did you? What was Nate 2's next action going to be?
The next one was going to be send the clone back. As well.
Right.
And then it was going to be go for a bit of a joyride.
Go for a bit of a joyride. You deserve this. I'm okay.
It's what happens. It's what happens when you get Mythalar madness.
You can put 2 and 2 together. You don't know what happened. You know Jeremiah got resurrected and sent back, and beyond that, you don't know what happened. But your simulacrum is no longer dispellable by you. You would know that.
So I'm trying to work out if Nate would have been able to put together that Nate 2 doesn't exist because the Mythalar also does not exist anymore.
I think it is fair to say that if the Mythalar does exist, I don't think it's fair to say that you know. Either it's gone completely out of this world, no longer a bother, or something awful has happened and you don't know what effect that would have because you've never seen a Mythalar tear a hole in reality, so you don't know.
Right. Yeah, so the other me, he took it and... Well, I'm not sure. Oh, shit.
Where did you take it?
I mean, he didn't tell me, right? But if I was me and I had,
exactly.
then I probably would have taken it back to the lab because it's warded in there, you know?
Only we can get there.
Yeah. But that meant you could get there too.
Maybe we should go back to the lab.
He just stopped existing, before I decided to dispel the thing, so...
Pandora, can you just run a quick simulation on how you think this situation's gone? What are the chances that everything's okay?
Scanning. Too many variables.
Okay. This isn't good. We should probably get back to the lab and also do something about this. And he's going to point to the 3 corpses on the floor.
So I'm sorry, is that 4 out of 5 of us now that have fucked with things beyond our control and have almost caused the end of the universe?
That wasn't me, right? I was just a copy of me who knew that he wasn't real and had a limited time to exist. I wouldn't have done that because I'd be dead now, but he was going to be dead anyway. So, yeah.
Okay, I've heard just about enough here. We're going to take this, points at the gem. Could still be a problem, obviously. And looks at Anton.
And be like, that's thinking, that's empty, and just going, okay, yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's probably very useful.
Right. We
probably worth it.
Our ship's working again, so we can go home. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So pleasure meeting you all. You can tell it clearly wasn't. And Frankly, if you're going to destroy your own universe, I'd rather not be in it if you do. So, fare thee well, and Hellfair, do you want to come with? Looks at Anton.
Actually, we could probably use your help, if you're anything like me.
I want nothing to do with you. But I am worried about what you've done. So, if you're going to where you think you threw a magical power beyond your reckoning, that's probably something I need to clean up now. So I will, but don't think that we're friends.
Anton's just gonna look at Nate like, who the fuck is this guy? Throwing off fucking antagonist, like protagonist vibes. Like he's the main character in my fucking story. I think Anton looks at him quite confused and just says, all right. Glad to have you on board. Whole fair. And he'll stand and he gives him a look. And I'd probably say for Nate, it's probably a little bit too much like Lorraine.
I think Nate'll do a bit of a kind of eye roll and turn and wander away a bit, just like, oh, for fuck's sake.
This is it. This is what causes the end of the universe, is Nate is too chill. Like, oh, you.
Ildra, the Baelnorn is watching this sort of scatter and will look at you and go, I presume you are traveling with them? You don't have to if you don't want to.
I would have liked to have stayed a little longer. I'll be honest.
Then please do. I have nothing left. I still need to protect this space, but
do you think you need help?
They're going to roll an insight check. Do you want them to need help?
Not to you, sorry. That was to Nate and Anton.
Oh.
Sorry.
I'm not here.
Well, I wouldn't say no. I think you could probably help a lot.
Can you...
Go
ahead.
From the 3 days that I've known you, you're extremely helpful.
Can you send me back here when we're done fixing the universe again?
Oh, yeah. I'd quite like to
not promise that.
I mean, if we're not dead, then yeah.
If we're not dead, there's a lot of things we could do.
I can if it comes to it.
By the entire Seldarine. Have you remembered your name yet?
To be honest, I haven't given it any thought.
What about Billy?
That definitely wasn't my name.
Billy the Baelnorn.
But just in the meantime.
I like it.
Don't listen to what they say. Do you like it?
No.
Okay.
Well, yeah, don't do that, man.
It feels, I don't know, somewhat disrespectful. I just...
I know a very respectful Billy.
I feel like these clowns need a chaperone. But I would like to come back.
will nod behind you like,
Anton's going to continue to look at Alfair like, who the fuck is this guy?
He's you, that's why you hate him.
No, it's not like, lost with all the sass. Anton doesn't know why Alfair doesn't like him.
Okay.
I know why.
Would you... Time. There's never enough time. Is there somewhere nearby, pleasant, that you might be able to... I'm sorry to ask you of this. That you might be able to bury these corpses?
I know a place. There's already some bodies there, so they can join them.
We also have time. We can't get to the laboratory quickly. Nezrel brought us here and I don't have the capacity to teleport us anyway.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant. I thought that was an immediate teleport, let's go now because the world is ending.
No,
Look at him, he's knackered.
We have time, and I would actually really like to sit by that tree again.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, in that case, let's stay for a little bit and then I will come and escort you. But yes.
We can have a look around. We could probably find something around here. That
we should probably pick up some stuff.
Back. Or find some way of finding out what's happening there, at a distance before we go back.
I could teleport you if you wanted.
Or...
That would be quite useful if we think there's going to be big trouble over at the other.
I don't know where you're going, so it'll have to be relatively inaccurate.
Well, I can give you the teleportation circles around the area.
Lovely, that would be fine.
Then I think, Antonia, if you think that we have time to wait for you to rest a little and get better, then I would very much like to help Belnorn bury these bodies.
I think we should, really. I was the one that said that we should do it.
Good. Looks like I have a to-do list then. Eolient. Raven's Bluff. Maybe Baldur's Gate at some point.
Ooh, can I come? I've never actually been to Baldur's Gate.
It's not all it's cracked up to be.
They have a good library.
Do you bury Ava, Ephemera, and Jeremiah?
Yes. And as I do it, I would like to be singing the song that I sang the first time I was fixing armor that Ephemera came and listened to.
You do. The Belnorn shows you there's a small part of the courtyard where, it's been a while, but there is earth that can be turned over, and there are 3 very small, trees that have been growing for, 10 years. I will cut sprigs for them as well.
Thank you. Is it only 10 years?
It's been 10 years since the second fall, I think. Is that right? 10 years?
I thought it was longer ago than that.
No, there were 2 falls. Yeah.
It was 5 years after the 11st fall of the second. Yeah.
Myth Drannor's had a lot of shit happen to it. I'm going to put it out there.
Sure.
But yes, there are 3 saplings that look very similar to the Tree of Souls, and I will pray for them.
Anybody want to say any last words before we go?
Yeah, I'll say something. I'll walk over to, kind of step forward, I guess, just. I didn't know any of you well. And I know that all 3 of you have been through a lot of pain in your lives. And your afterlives. Part of me thinks it's probably a bit of a forlorn hope. But I sincerely wish that you are finding some peace. And it'll just step back.
That's all. I'll give him a pat on the back.
Thank you both for helping me be more at peace with who I am than I was before.
Anton put his, I was just saying, Anton put his other hand on your back as well, so he's just sort of stood.
You might not think well of yourselves, but if you did that for me in 3 days, Who knows what else you could have done? Here's to people doing what they can with what they've got in the moment.
All fair? Anything to say?
Holfair will go and stand over Ava's grave. Thank you. And step back.
Anton, can we talk about why you've got Elvish shaved into the side of your head?
No, that's the button! Shush! You wonder why Holfair doesn't like you? That's literally why. Who is this?
Hey, it's what reminded me in the reflection of the gem. So that Elvish was like, do some Elven High magic.
Thank you all. That was excellent. I do have one final button. I apologize. Ephemera.
Yes.
Ephemera is dead. But you who are not Ephemera, wake. You don't remember anything. You remember from the point where you were Jesse. And then Jesse died. And now you've woken up. You appear to be in a tavern room.
Hello?
There's no one there. Single occupancy room as well.
I guess I open the door.
Mm-hmm. There's a corridor and some steps leading down.
Do I have anything on me? Like I...
You're wearing a sort of patchwork robe that looks hand-stitched. It's quite a big hat on the end of your bed. A staff that... probably yours.
I take the accoutrement. I assume they're mine. Is there a mirror in here?
Yeah.
I have a look.
It's you, it's Jesse. Not reborn.
Oh. Huh. I will go out the door and call a little bit louder. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, who's there?
A figure will walk up the stairs. Oh, hello. It's a sort of slightly older man. Hi there, you're awake.
I am awake.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Where am I?
Oh, you're in Tribor.
Where is that?
It's a town. We're on the road, or we're on the way to we're on the way to if you want to go all that far, Silvery Moon, from Waterdeep or the other way.
Sorry, who are you?
Oh, I'm Arthur. Hello. You were brought in. You someone found you on the side of the road or something. Everything okay?
I have no memories.
Oh no. Okay, let's get you a cup of tea and let's try and work something out, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're absolutely fine. Come down when you're ready. I'll put kettle on.
Okay. I'll be down in a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna kind of just pat myself down and try and find any remnant of any kind of possession other than a staff and a cloak. Like, just look through the room, see if there's anything at all. Marks on the body.
Nothing at all, but what you do hear is a faint...
Where?
There's a toad sat on what would be the bedside table, just looking at you.
Hello? Do you know me? Do you want to come down with me?
We'll hop onto your hand if you let.
What's your name? Babble. No. Burble? We'll workshop it. Brian. Brian it is.
Yes, that was a quizzical toad.
And with Brian the toad.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of put him on my shoulder.
Mm.
I hope he snuggles in and doesn't just hop off.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make my way down, taking all of my worldly possessions very close to my person.
Mm-hmm. And you head downstairs. That is where we will draw to a close.
I don't want it to end.
No.
Sorry, my friends. All good things. And there's a hole in reality, so we'll have to deal with that too. But anyway, yeah.
All small.
Oh, thank you all so much. You wonderful players. You wonderful, wonderful people. That was the Wreckage of Myth Drannor.
You, Chris.
Oh, bless.
What a ride.
What a ride. Yeah. It's a new show next week. Fun. Never stops. Next week we launch the, what's it called? Drowning in Blackwater. I should know, it's me DMing. Maybe you can see what the other half of the Reaping Goldenfields party is doing.
Ooh. He's going to get his badge back.
And they're having such wholesome, innocent fun as we are.
Oh, no. No, they're, when Orcus mentioned that there are worse things out there that Orcus dealt with, they're dealing with that. So, yes, join us next week for that. That's also same time, same place, Monday, 6 p.m. I think we're currently in the weird daylight saving time crossover. I'm not sure, but if we are, check calendars, tweets, schedules, because times move around because of daylight savings time changing at different times in different places, and we stick to an American time calendar for various annoying reasons. So please do check and join us either 5 or 6 p.m. GMT, depending on BST or GMT, depending on what the situation is at that point in time. There we go, I said it. Also on Tuesdays, we currently have, I don't know. I think it might still be a Divergent Dream. We might be moving on from that point.
I think a Divergent Dream overlaps.
Oh, then in which case it is still a Divergent Dream. Great, lovely. Join us for a Divergent Dream. Ali's, you thought this was fucked up. On Tuesdays, more psychedelic D&D. And on Fridays, we always have Talking is a Free Action or Talk Together, where we either talk to cast and crew about what happened. I think this Friday will probably be us talking about the campaign, so expect tears, and and then otherwise Talk is a Free Action. The Question Masters do their weird questioning. The lore is getting thicker and deeper, and it doesn't need to. Okay, but that's what's going on there. Check that out. All of our shows can be streamed at twitch.tv/RollTogetherRPG, available on YouTube at youtube.com/RollTogetherRPG, or on podcast, just search Roll Together RPG. You can always find us in your favorite place, and if you can't, let us know and we will fix that. We're on socials. Join us on the socials, Twitter, Facebook, etc. All Roll Together RPG. We've got in early. And TikTok might be around. It's going to be around soon. I keep being told soon, but I don't really know how it works, so that's okay.
Saying that for this entire campaign.
I know. Look, we've talked about it, and it's like, yeah, it's definitely happening, but when? So, yes, look out for TikToks, apparently. And also, we're on Patreon. If you want to patronize us and support us, that would be absolutely splendid. Thank you so much. Thank you to our D20 Club, our Dice Heads, our patrons. You are all marvelous and wonderful. And without you, I couldn't do this. I say it every time, but it is absolutely true. So, I'm going to have a lie down. That's my plan. But yeah, thank you so much, my darlings. You're all wonderful and marvelous. Rebecca, Evie, I am so sorry.
No.
Yes, genuinely, that hurt to DM. But yeah, well, see you all next week for something completely different. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.